Yeah. So why is Chris in the hospital?
He's getting surgery for. They don't find a cure for cerebral palsy.
Yeah.
But there's like this new robot arm, I think, that they can like hook up to your like brain nerves. So I think he was gone for a couple days for that.
So he'll find a way to start doing the dishes now. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. I'm glad.
Oh my gosh, he doesn't have an excuse anymore. All right, let's get this thing on the road. By the way, I have a big reverb thing going on to start this. I just found a big reverb button, so we sound like we're at the end of a tunnel right now.
Awesome.
Perfect. I've been doing kind of like a morning zoo intro, but I don't really know how to do it. And on the last podcast, we lost it. So I guess this is the morning zoo. All right. Oh yeah. This is the Wheel Podcast. Chris is had an errand thing. He might be gone for the next couple podcasts. And if you heard the last one, both Closet Guy and John Archer are gone from the podcast as well. So today it's just me recording. So it's just me going to be with you for a while. At least you can understand me. I don't get drunk. I don't do heroin. So you're safe.
Yeah.
With my ears. With your ears, I think. But we can get this thing going on the road. Did you see the picture of ass and senators?
Yeah.
That I have for the intro?
Yeah.
Chris doesn't like the pictures I pick for the thing, but I don't know what to type in.
Yeah, right.
So I just put in public domain and just download 20 things.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Looks good.
Yeah, it does.
Looks good. So were you born here?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Colorado Springs. For sure.
And you haven't left yet?
No, I haven't.
That sucks.
Yeah, it's awful. Almost 30 years.
Have you traveled outside the city?
I've been outside the state. I've been outside the country.
So you know there are better places.
Yeah, I know there are better places.
That's almost more cruel. That you get to see outside the cage.
Yeah, right.
But so you're born here in the Springs, raised here, stayed here. I noticed at some point that there wasn't a lot of people between the ages of 17 and 30.
Yeah.
At least more like 40.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone spends their 20s somewhere cooler.
Yeah.
Or I guess you just hang out. I don't know how that works.
Well, it seems like if you hit 25 and you haven't ever left the city, you're probably never gonna leave.
Probably never gonna be able to.
You've already given up. You know, everybody forgets that Colorado Springs is still in the Midwest. That's where dreams gotta die. So
yeah, so you're stuck here. It's like the Midwest disguised as the coast.
Kind of. I feel to a certain degree, maybe just replace all of the oceanic adventures with weed and mountains, and it's really about the same. I think to a certain degree.
Yeah, I've heard people call Colorado the coast.
Yeah.
Like they're trying to include themselves.
Yeah.
And no, I lived.
You realize we share a border with Utah.
Yeah, I've lived all the way up and down there.
We're hanging out with Mormons. We share a border with Mormons. That's not cool points.
Yeah.
Guys.
Both Arizona and the Mormons are between us and the coast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it starts there, the line. But I remember thinking when I was about 20, I was like, what do I have to do in the Springs to meet people my own age? Because it never came up.
Go to the bar.
Go to the bar.
Literally it.
But even that, I would go out to bars and it would be all 40-year-old dudes.
Yeah.
And I think I fucked up by not going to Supernova, like the hipsteriest bar.
Yeah, that's where I cut my teeth as an alcoholic in Supernova. So that's the best way to put that. Yeah, I spent a whole year going there every night, getting blackout drunk, walking home. Because I lived like 2 blocks away, and I was working full time, and I was living like 4 other dudes like we are now. So I was only paying like $250, $300 for rent, and I would just drink the rest of my money, basically. Like eat, and I would eat most of my meals and drink there. Like that was where I got my sustenance.
And that's a good way to end up in the Springs
forever.
Forever.
That's how they get you.
I was in a bar in Loveland, Colorado.
Yeah.
And the bar was owned by this guy who would sit in the back in a big recliner in the dark. And he would sit there with a blanket over his knees and drink. But in order to drink, he had to take his respirator off and put a straw in his beer. So, and it went, I don't know, I want to say it's an oxygen tank, but like it had a pump like a Morton Joe from Mad Max.
Oh, wow.
So like underneath.
So like he was struggling to get air just by himself.
Underneath the White Snake, like you could just hear like.
What's your price tonight? I don't even know the words to that song.
Yeah.
I don't even know about Motorhead. It wasn't. No, was that White Snake? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Just like hair metal song, rebreather.
Some butt rock. Yeah, but
Darth Vader's getting some pussy tonight.
Right. I remember I'm sitting in there and I was like, I have to fucking leave this bar, because I'm looking around at all the people in here and I'm thinking like you can end up in one of these dive bars, drink until you're dead. Yeah. Because, like, these people look like they're slowly becoming part of the walls. Like Pirates of the Caribbean 2.
Part of the crew.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're just becoming, like, statues in this bar. It's just part of it
part
now.
Of the bar, part of the crew.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that car, it's fun because, like, you go up to Denver and you see, like, how fun it can be.
Oh, yeah.
And then people will try to, especially downtown, will try to mimic that fun, and then it traps you because you're like Supernova is like one of like a couple of bars in town that like I enjoy going to. They're like fun, they aren't full of douchebags, and like that's it. You have that one little fun thing, and you're like, oh fuck, this is it. All right, cool. And then 20 years later, you're still there.
Yeah, exactly. And it's watered down, nowhere near the same fun, but it's just fun in contrast to miles in every direction. Yeah. About 70 miles in every direction. Yeah. I remember when I was living in Denver, when I was bored, I would just pull $10 out and walk up and down Colfax and go into whatever venue I wanted to see a band. Because there's 20 venues between bars and theaters up and down on Colfax. I would just walk till I saw a band I knew or a band with an interesting name, walk in there, pay my $7 or whatever, and watch the show. And that's what I would just do when I was bored with a night off. And like I saw tons of awesome bands that way. I saw the Vaccines and Bombay Bicycle Club and Arctic Monkeys, and just by like, because I wasn't up on who was coming. There were a couple bands I really wanted to see that I would be aware of, but I wasn't looking for shows. It was just whenever I was bored, I would walk around. Yeah. And then if there's a show somewhere in the Springs with a band I know or want to see, it's like 2 months of planning and setting aside, and I have to get the tickets way in advance. Like I remember, and it's still for a band that's nowhere near as good as the bands I just walked into at random, you know,
with like no effort,
right,
at all.
And so that's the kind of like fun difference.
Well, that's almost true of anything in the Springs. Like if you want to have some of those fun experiences, like you do have to plan out 2 months ahead of time. Call your lead guy or your coke guy, you know, whichever. Get the tickets, get all your little friends to make sure they have the same night off. Like it's not as
spontaneous.
That's what I was looking for. Like spontaneous to have fun here in town. You can't just and if you don't have a car, you're super fucked. Like walking in this town is awful.
You're limited to your 5-block radius.
Yeah. It depends on, like when you do, it blows my mind how many people they're so car dependent that they can't even handle the concept of like having to walk 2 miles to go somewhere. They're just like I'll be like, yeah, I walked from my house to Zodiac. It took like an hour. Like, not that bad. The weather's nice. Fuck it. Let's go walk to the mic. I don't need a ride. Right. And I'll get there, and people be like, you walked? Dude, I could have picked you up. I could have given you a ride.
Yeah, very car dependent.
It's like, it's not even that thing like, oh, I could have gotten a ride. I'm mad about that. I'm more like, you're a fucking bitch. Like, it's not like it's not like I'm going out into the fucking wilderness, but nothing but a pocket knife and Paris and like some matches or anything like that. I'm just walking to the mic, just using the sidewalk. There were a couple of hills. Oh God, like it boggles my mind. So like I'm only limited to like how long do I want to be outside for? Honestly, if I want to walk somewhere, like it's not about, I don't know. It's I don't like walking around the city, but I also don't mind it. Like, it's not the worst thing ever.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the thing for me is when I used to walk around Denver, it was always an experience and kind of an adventure.
Yeah.
Where you could see flyers, what bands are coming up, who might be good. You would talk to like 4 absolutely crazy homeless people. You'd run into someone you party with the night before, or hanging out at the Mouth House, or you'd walk by a comic and say hi. Like, there was always so much to see. They have pianos on 16th Street that I would just drop in and play on my way to work. So I always really enjoyed the experience of just walking to work. And even still, it was a mile. No matter what I wanted to go do or go get, it was within a 2-mile radius of walking.
That's perfect. You can keep it to like that.
Yeah.
That's reasonable, at least.
Here, if you want to go somewhere and you're walking, it's an hour walk to the next thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, before, it was a half-hour walk to the Ogden. I'm gonna have a bunch of experiences and a good time in between, and especially if you have music going, it's just fun to walk around the city. But it's a half-hour walk to the Ogden Theater to go see Animal Collective. And here it's an hour walk to the Zodiac, and it's boring. The only people you'll find out of their cars are the craziest of homeless people. And it's just not pleasant to me. So I'm always like, here, if you don't have to, why would you? But I really miss walking everywhere or taking the bus. It's just not really feasible here.
It's borderline unsustainable completely.
I remember if I wanted to go get a slice of pizza, I didn't even have to Google where one was. I would just pick a direction and walk till I stumbled into pizza. And here, that could take fucking weeks.
Yeah, right. One does not simply stumble into pizza in Colorado Springs.
So, plus now that I'm a little older, my time is a bit more precious to me. And I think if I was still living in Denver, I would walk around everywhere, maybe not quite as much. Also, having a car in Denver is just fucking impossible. I had
parking is a joke.
I had a motorcycle and then a Vespa scooter, and that was fucking plenty. For living in downtown Denver. So it's almost necessary to not have a car. But here, it's so the opposite. That I'm like an hour to go to Zodiac that takes 5 minutes in a car. It might almost be the opposite. Like, to take a car to the Ogden Theater from my place downtown in Denver might have taken the same time to walk.
Wow.
And cost less money.
Traffic and trying to find a spot to park.
Exactly. So, it's great just to see the city. But here, if it takes you an hour or 5 minutes, I just don't have the time to walk the whole way. Just because it seems, I already try and consolidate my sleep to I can get about 5 hours in tonight, I think, if I really try hard. So I'm not spending one of those just walking from A to B.
Right.
But at the same time, I was with Brett downtown running an errand for Chris. And my phone died, so
Yeah.
I couldn't call Brett for a ride back, and I was at Gasoline Alley,
Oh yeah.
and so I was like, well, fuck it, and I just started running down Tejon, and I ran like the couple miles or whatever it is back to the apartment, and just walked in and sat down, and I was like, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
And it took like a half hour of just running.
Well, that's nice about our place. It's 2 minutes to food, and cigarettes, and all the supplies you need. And then if you want to get downtown, it's only like half an hour walk, like 45 minutes tops.
Yeah,
which isn't bad.
I was living on Woodland and Academy before I moved down here.
Yeah,
and it was a nightmare because every time I would get home from work, like I live right next door to my shop now.
Mm-hmm.
It is literally 2 minutes away.
Yeah,
maybe a 20-minute walk, and I used to every morning have to drive from Woodland and Academy all the way down to that shop.
Yeah.
And then drive to wherever the job site was, and then drive back to the shop and all the way back up to Woodland Academy. And then if I wanted to go do a mic after that, I had to get back in my car and drive all the way back. So I did 2 hours of driving every day.
2 hours driving every day.
Yeah, I could go to Denver and back every day.
Yeah.
If I wasn't working. But like that's the amount of time I spent in my car.
Fucking car, yeah.
So
that was the one thing I hated about having a car, was how much time I was spending in it. Like, because no wonder my car is always a mess, because I fucking live in it. Like, if you live in Colorado Springs, you have to live in your car. Like, I see somebody in Colorado Springs with a nice interior on their car, and I'm like,
oh, you get it.
What? I don't get it. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, really?
I'm just like, what the? How do you?
I was thinking of like
do this. Like, you just don't have shit in your car. Like,
oh, I see what you mean. Yeah,
it's weird to me. Like,
I was thinking of like you were saying that they planned ahead. Like, I'm gonna spend most of my time in my car, so I might as well break the bank on interior.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I understand what you mean about, there's certain times I clean out my car and there's 30 energy drinks in there.
Yeah, right.
It just gets ridiculous living in there, and it's not even like this is LA where the traffic's so bad you're spending 4 hours in your car.
Yeah.
But it's just
the commute. You're 30 minutes from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
it's spread out, and the roads are all shit.
Yeah.
They're terribly made. Absolutely awful.
Yeah, this city was not planned at all.
No.
Past like downtown. It was just like, oh, fuck it. Just keep going.
I tell people all the time that I take Nevada in my truck. I take Nevada instead of the highway because it goes almost everywhere in the city.
Yeah.
And if you take Nevada, you're going about 35 miles per hour, but in about half the distance, because if you get on the highway, you have to go all the way around the city at 60 miles an hour plus. So you're burning twice as much gas to go twice the distance.
Yeah. But you're just doing it faster in your head.
You're doing it faster in your head. And it takes maybe 5 minutes slower if you hit a couple lights on Nevada. But people, every time I tell people that, they're like, nah, I want to go faster because it feels faster. And like, I put $20 in gas every 3 days in my truck. My dad's truck has the same gas mileage. He takes the highway everywhere. He puts 20 in a day. And he's like, it feels faster though. He's like, wow, what is that? Like almost $100 a week extra to feel fast.
Yeah, right.
Hey, what's up, Marco? Yeah. Okay. What did he get
Marco's
on camera?
so panicky about there being a ghost in this theater, but I think he is becoming the ghost in this theater.
Yeah.
That was creepy as hell.
Yeah, that's both me and him are haunting this place. Sorry, there was a car pulled by with a strap to another car. Is that a DeLorean? No. Anyway, what were we talking about? So
the highway.
Reese's Buttercups.
Oh.
Yeah, the highway. So I take it everywhere, and sometimes there's so many accidents on the highway, it's actually faster to take Nevada.
Yeah,
because it's all clogged up with traffic. So I'll get somewhere, I'll spend I don't know how much, in gas, get somewhere, and then someone will show up 20 minutes later who I know took the highway and they're all pissed off.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, traffic sucked today. But it happens all the time.
Right.
But then people will get on me like, I was here 5 minutes ahead of you. Like, wow, I hope all the screaming out of your car window and calling people an asshat and the extra $30 you spent in gas was worth that 5 minutes. Yeah. I just listened to an extra song. It was great. But you really can live in your goddamn car here. The only benefit I can see thus far about living in this place is that you can... I almost said hone your craft, like a serious... is that you can really hone your craft. Fucking... Yeah, as I was about to say it, another Nyland in my head was like, go fuck yourself. But you can work on getting good and getting through the basic shittiness in stand-up while being completely invisible. Yeah. Because nothing else comes through here.
Yeah.
Perfect. It's like 3 times in the last 2 years that I've been here that someone came through that kind of mattered, and still, once you look into it, not really. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great place to just be anonymous. Anonymous, yeah.
It's one of those things, like, I always hear the rumors before they happen because you get connected a little bit in comics talk. And it'll be, I heard there's a guy coming through the Springs. Like, you better watch out and be on your A game at all these mics because there's a guy who's been hanging out. I heard he's coming in from Comedy Central. And you're like, wow, damn. This is the guy that gives people specials. Yeah. Gives people opportunities. And then, like, you meet him, and he's like, yeah, I'm from Comedy Central, India. Like,
yeah, right.
Like, it doesn't, and even still, like, after a couple years of doing stand-up, is there anything he could give you that would be worthwhile? Is he down here looking for talent in the Springs?
No, he's not. His car broke down on the way to Denver.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he's just stuck here until it gets fixed. So to feed his ego, he just acts like he's gonna do something for us, but really he just wants a couple people to suck his dick before he's on his way back to Denver.
Yeah, it's the last couple people that came to town just are walking around looking for open micers to suck their dick. It really amazes me how readily, like, open micers are. Yeah. Their perception of where they are and where their perception of the person they're talking to is. Yeah. Like, we're watching. I'm trying not to say people's names because we have on a thing there. Yeah. Because we didn't want to, especially with Chris, he knows certain people, and we didn't want to just start blowing up their spots. Yeah. But I remember seeing a comic talking to someone who was out of town. Yeah. Who toured out of the country. And this open micer who's been doing it for 2 years is asking him, like, so how do I get my jokes to translate if I wanted to play, like, Chiang Mai? And I'm like, first you need to write a joke. Yeah. That would be good. Second, learn how to hold a microphone. Like, there's so many things we have to go over before you can, like, fly to Hong Kong and think you're going to destroy.
Yeah, it's amazing how many... And it's just a part of the craft where if you're good, you make it look so easy. But it's amazing how many people think that they can run before they crawl. Yeah. Really. They don't even bother thinking about walking. They just want to start running. It's like, nah. Dude, gotta get to the basics first. Like, and pay your dues, like, for a while before you can just
pay your dues.
Yeah, pay it, bro. Pay those dues.
Yeah, Corey says
Get me a drink, bitch. Pay those dues.
Corey says that to me, like, every time we're at a shitty gig. He's like, you ready to pay dues? And I was like, I don't want to do this. And he's like, go pay this due. It's like, do I have to pay each due specifically? Like,
is there a list somewhere?
Yeah. Like, do I have to do this one? Because I'd rather pay some other ones. I'd rather play in a bathroom than this place.
Yeah. I've definitely paid the ride in the trunk to a gig due. I'm about to pay it again tonight. So I'll do it 2 nights in a row. Hopefully I'll get that. like if you're gonna pay, what I want for paying dues is I want like a vest, like the Boy Scouts. No, like the sash that Boy Scouts wear that has all the badges. Like I want a badge for every due, and then you can just show people and be like, "Hey, look, I've paid this many. Could you think maybe for once you can, I see I have all these dues paid right here. I know it's not all of them, but it's a lot. Could you maybe pay me for this gig? Well, even a little bit.
That would be great to
have like a measurable system
in order to verify a comic's ability before they're filing their taxes as a comedian.
Yeah.
To have that fucking I'm a good boy sash with like an eagle pin on it and whatever.
Somebody called me a faggot.
Someone threw a beer at me.
I told a slightly racist joke that went over poorly.
Yeah. I did a half hour when I only had 10 minutes of material to one guy.
Yeah.
All that shit.
Some guy tried to fight me in the parking lot.
Yeah. I would really love that.
The heckler was funnier than me. Somebody told me after my set, "Good for you."
Yeah, I would have some good ones. I think I'd be really excited for that because I would shake my sash at other open mics.
Yeah, right. Like, look.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I've been in a shittier situation already for longer. Yeah, I'd have biker rally on there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you'd have riding in a trunk.
Yeah.
What's do you have a gig that sticks out in your mind as like maybe the worst you bombed or like the shittiest gig you have?
Honestly, I keep thinking back to when I first started and like I'm not good now. I'm slightly better than I was, but compared to what I was, holy hell. That's what I keep thinking. I don't really like I've bombed so much that like I've become like numb.
Complacent.
And I like in town, like I've bombed so much that I'm just like, usually. Like I just don't care. Like it's like, all right, that usually happens, that's fine. And I haven't been on the road like at all, so I don't have those nightmare gig stories that everybody has, because everything's a nightmare here. It's all relative. You know what I mean? But the thing that like really keeps terrifying me is just the garbage that I used to write and how just fucking terrible it was.
Yeah.
Compared to now, like I just look back at some of that stuff and I'm just like, what the fuck were you thinking? Like, because Chris always like has that advice, like save everything, and then there's some notebooks where I'm just like, burn it. Where's the gas?
Yeah.
I don't want to look at it. Get it out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
But then it's nice to go back at that stuff and be like, well, you're still garbage, but you're slightly better garbage. Like you're not the rotting banana peel at the bottom of the trash can. Now you're like the empty milk jug. Like you're doing better. Soon you'll be out of the garbage. Someday.
Yeah. I try, since I started doing stand-up, really tried to throw out my act, Louis style, that kind of thing, to try and become better. Yeah. Anything I can do here with as little resources that there are here.
Well, to
try and become better.
The thing about if you really want to get better here, like what you do, you're totally right. The hard mode thing where since we're already gonna, everything's a nightmare. Why not like turn that up to expert? Because the pain and suffering that you create for yourself will just, at the very least, make your skin tougher in the long run, or hopefully even make you a better comic. Like,
and so you can't really throw out
case
your whole act.
Nyland will do crowd work when there's not a crowd.
Exactly. Yeah, I have to.
Difficulty level master.
Yeah, I really have to just keep trying. I keep having to put myself in the shittiest situations possible to just try and get better.
Yeah.
And it works to a certain degree. Like I don't have an hour to throw away.
Yeah.
But if I'm going up doing open mics for just comedians, the same comics every week, I might as well throw out all my material weekly. And
that's kind of what I've gotten to. Like,
yeah,
I don't throw it away, but I try not to tell it ever again in front of them. Like if the one thing I do like about constantly having to do time in front of other comics is there's a huge pressure to keep writing because you have to like the only way you're ever going to keep getting a reaction out of them is to keep it fresh. They've heard the same thing over and over again. No reaction. They don't give a fuck. We're all dead inside. Like, but it doesn't take for us. It doesn't take much to get back to dead. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I could tell the Cam Horse story like 2 or 3 more times in front of comics before I'm like done. Like
and you're really gonna have to change it.
Yeah.
Change it up and try and make it better each time, or else it'll quickly.
Oh yeah,
get
like
nothing.
I'm gonna tell it again tonight, and it's gonna like I've already listened to it. It's already gonna be drastically different and better than it was the first time I told it here. But like jokes have such a short half-life that it pressures you to write, and when you see comics in town that don't understand that, they just keep telling the same shit over and over and over again, and don't write new material, and it's just like, oh shit, like the one thing this scene has going for itself, and most of the comics won't take advantage of it. That's what bugs me, because I'm always like, God, I gotta write a new 5 minutes every week, at least 5. A, something new to work on. B, they haven't heard this. Like, even if it bombs, they haven't heard it, so it's at least interesting and new.
And I mean, even a new minute a week is daunting. So you're gonna have a lot of garbage.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're
There's
trying
a lot
to write
of trash.
5 minutes.
Yeah. When you're pushed to write 5 minutes every week, 2 minutes is usually keepable, and then the other 3 either needs to be fixed or thrown away. That's fine. Like,
you've seen my crate full of notebooks.
Yeah. I'm the exact same way. I actually got a little jealous, so I counted. We have like the exact same number of notebooks. But like that's how I filled fucking 8 notebooks in 2 years. It was just like, fuck, man. Eventually, I just got to the point where I was like, if I'm gonna keep doing mics, the only way I'm going to enjoy it is if I keep doing a new 5. So, and then maybe a better writer, because it became like, oh, okay, I can write 30 seconds. That's good out of 5 minutes. To like, oh, I can maybe write 2.5 minutes out of 5. That's not trash. Like it's keepable. Then the rest will just throw away or rewrite. But
and I think really what that trains you to do, especially when you're starting out, your growth is so exponential that the way that I've learned to write, especially so much, like I feel I hate my jokes.
Oh, I hate my jokes
from a week ago.
Yeah,
because they're not up to the standard of my jokes a week later.
That happens to me constantly.
Yeah.
Like I always am like frustrated because like you've seen my crazy in my notebook. I have a list of like every joke that I'm keeping for now, and it's usually like 50 or 60. And I usually end up throwing away like 10 or 12 every time I write that list. So just like garbage. Okay, we'll keep these. Like, it kills me like that I have like material that I consider something I would put in my type 5, but it doesn't even hold a candle to something that I wrote like a week ago. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, God damn it, like I've got this type 5, but I just wrote a way better type 5.
Yeah.
Like, do I even bother keeping this now, or do I just continuously?
I think you just continuously do it. Every time I go on the road, I do the same set.
Yeah.
Whatever the last 5 minute or whatever, I do the same set that I've been working on.
Yeah.
And thus far, it seems to work. At least like maybe a combination of the last month of stand up, but especially after I take it out on the road, even for one gig, it's gone. I'm already writing again. Yeah. For something else. And there's a lot of those jokes that I could go back to. They work. And there's a bunch of them that I'm not ashamed to do. Like I don't feel like they're shitty. They just work, and I just don't think the content is as good as what I'm writing now, but they work plenty fine, and I don't think they're complete garbage, so I won't throw them out. But when I eventually do longer sets, I can pull into those. But for the most part, I'm just constantly writing new material.
Yeah.
And it worries me that, I mean, the benefit of what you get when you do that is everything you write weekly is so much better than what you wrote a week ago.
Yeah.
Like you're gaining the ability to write jokes at such an exponential level. But what I'm worried about is that when it comes time to consistently do a set
Yeah.
over and over and over again.
Because I seldom do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like if I go like if I'm doing a room in Pueblo, I don't have a set list. Even right now, I have to do that in like a couple hours, and I don't have a set list. I'm gonna go in there, read the room. I've got a couple of jokes I want to do for sure, and then I'm gonna go in there, check out the room, and then look in my list, and be like, okay, what do you think you can get away with here? And then build a set list based off that. So like every time I do an actual gig, it's never the same set list. I mean, I've kind of like tried to like make my sets more adaptable, I guess, or like have sets that seem to have different themes running through them. But yeah, you're right. I don't have like an absolute tight 5 that I can just tell that I just know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the pressure is to write the new stuff, so I don't sit there and like have like a 5. And I should have a 5, 10, and a 15 that I could just any time, place, like I should be able to just do that set. I don't have that. Like. I have a good idea of what would be in it, but I don't have that. Like I'm sitting on 30 minutes, but I don't like. I still need a notebook sometimes to do those 30 minutes. Like you're right. Like it has become a problem because like even for me, like I am now writing more than I can get it all out on stage because I've got like another 4 or 5 minutes that I haven't even like told on stage yet.
Yeah, haven't even tried.
I've got this other 8-minute bit that I'm trying to unfuck and make funnier. So like that's where I'm at now. So now it's like, shit, I'm creating a backlog. Damn it, I didn't want this to happen. Like this is I don't want backlog. I can't like because then it's gonna get overwhelming. Because already so much like as a comic trying to like make a career better. There's already so much that like I'm trying to focus on, and I'm realizing all these things. And I'm trying to learn all this stuff. Now on top of it, not only do I have old shitty jokes I'm trying to fix, but now I have a backlog of new material that I don't even know when I'm going to get to. Like, fuck.
And do you remember the first guest host we had here at the theater when we started without Archer and Closet Guy? When I took over the mic. Do you remember the first guy we had come in here?
No, I don't.
He's from the East Coast. He had the like lines drawn in the side of his head.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. If you Google him and watch his set, he did the same set. Exactly. He did the same set when I worked with him at the Improv. Almost exactly. And he did the same set when he did Gotham Comedy Live.
Yeah.
Over 10 years ago.
Wow.
The same exact set. So when I heard the next week when Romery and Chris did a show with him and he bombed, I was like, wow, how do you bomb with a material with the 15 minutes that you've been doing
for 10 years?
For 10 years.
Yeah.
Like he wrote a set in the first 2 years of doing stand-up that he stuck with. And it's taken him really far.
Yeah.
Is he going to get a special? I don't even know how much material he can do.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that is his
15 over
destructive
and over again.
15.
Yeah, it's a good 15, but it might be his only 15.
Like, yeah. His only 15 that's at that level.
Yeah.
Especially.
Yeah.
So it worries me because it's so the opposite of if you can keep material like that strong,
but
how far can you take it?
For us, though, like, the thing about comedy too is like you don't have to just be a road comic. Like, and it does work to our advantage that we're able to, even if only half of it is decent content, that we're able to create a lot of content. Because then maybe you don't always put all of that content into stand up. You can put that, like, we're doing a YouTube thing, we can maybe put some of that into YouTube, or like we're doing a different this podcast and the movie one, like we could maybe put some of that there. Like, I don't think it's wrong.
Can you aim the mic a little bit more at your mouth?
I don't think it's wrong to like create. I don't know. It does bug me. I don't know. I guess it just bothers me that like I guess maybe it's because I wouldn't have the patience to sit there and fucking do that same 15 minutes for 10 years. That
Yeah.
would drive me insane.
And I think
Because we both have the same thing where we hate our jokes after a week. Like,
yeah. And I think he's kind of a different breed in the way that he likes
Yeah.
doing the road.
Mhm.
He likes being on the road and traveling and not having a day job
Yeah.
and just, hanging out more than he wants glory. But
Yeah.
you can completely sustain that by having an A-level 15 minutes
Yeah.
and just touring on that host spot.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and one of the things that it worries me is if you hate all your jokes in a week, they only, if you're really productive, 15, 20 sets in before you throw them away, and sometimes for me, that's only 2.
Yeah.
But in a week, I'd say about every, 15 sets, I'll throw pretty much at least keep them all in the notebook.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I'll go a little bit longer than a week, but sometimes it's only 3.
Yeah.
Before I hate them. And that also depends on how well they're working. But
Yeah.
You can only really get C-level material, no matter how good a writer you are, in a week's time. Even if it's really good to begin with and you just know how to write to make a joke work, so it already starts out good, it still can't sharpen up fully. So, like you said, we both have, between the two of us, 40 notebooks that are full of C-level material.
Yeah.
So it's another downside. But at the same time, every time I've written a new 5 minutes, it is so much better than the last. So I'm gaining.
I would say if we're doing C, we're trying to get to B.
Mhm.
I don't know, maybe we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot with the process of trying to be good writers.
Mhm.
Our process is to just grind constantly
Mhm.
and just literally sharpen, just grind away all the bullshit until you have nothing left but the knife, I guess. So the hope is eventually instead of doing 20 notebooks of C material, maybe you have the next 10 will be B material, and then keep sharpening. Holy fuck, maybe you'll have 5 of A.
Yeah.
And then that might become a special. Those 5 notebooks of A, maybe, who knows?
Yeah. And that's one of the.
I personally think 90% of it is about the stage, the presence, clarity.
I really think it's the opposite, because
I'm saying it's more. I'll say it's okay. Maybe not 90. Maybe 70% stage, 30% writing, but it helps so much to have that 30% writing down whilst working on the stage stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because then you can go there and be like, all right, I know I've put some effort into this material and it works, and I've done all I can on paper to make this not garbage. Now all I have to do is focus on the stage stuff instead of trying to do both at the same time, I guess.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. I don't know. That's just me.
And I'll get.
It's I've at least written enough now to where I have the confidence to take anything that I've written on stage and try it out. You know what I mean? And so when I'm not sitting there shitting on my own creativity, it allows me at least to try to, and this is something I've been trying to focus on more recently, to focus on, my stage presence and what I do and stuff like that. We were talking about when I recorded one of my things, I got the biggest laughter from not saying anything and just doing faces and shit. And it's oh wow, that's a whole thing I have to focus on now.
Yeah, a whole range of getting laughs that you were never considering.
Yeah.
Just your expressions being present.
And, I don't think I would have ever bothered going down that route of being comfortable enough to just do that if I thought that my jokes were just absolute garbage to begin with. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of the benefits, though, is as I've continued to write, even though I don't get the time to sharpen up those jokes to their full potential, now when I write a new 5, just from paper,
Yeah.
it already starts out at like a D+ level material. It's not garbage I have to sort through.
Yeah.
There's always something there. The only jokes I bomb with on stage are when I'm just riffing or I haven't written a punchline for it yet.
Yeah, I've noticed the jokes, the bombs, are the ones that I wrote half-assedly, usually. Like, I wrote, like, I just didn't bother finishing it or something, and I'm like, oh, that's why it sucks, because you're lazy, not because you're terrible. Like, that becomes the thing, too. Like, at some point, you know, you get good. Just don't be lazy. Just that little bit of effort that you make to actually, like, try and write can really be the difference between a joke that just eats shit and gets nothing. It's something that it might get like 2 or 3 people to laugh, you know. Like, it kills me in this town how many people like don't even have like a writing process at all.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have like you almost have to ritualize it or something to like make it your thing. And there's so many.
And each process comes out with a completely different product, and people don't consider that. Yeah. They're just, I thought of something, better tweet it out, and then just read my tweets on stage. Yeah. Yeah, you said something about you think that the act is like 70% stage and 30% writing. I would think it's more the opposite, really? Like 70% writing, 30% stage, in the way that...
and that might just be me, because that's like where I feel I struggle with the stage, so I try to focus more on that, because, you know, I sound like Porky Pig on stage sometimes. I stutter all the time. I don't talk very clearly. Like, I mispronounce words and shit. That bugs me, and I try to fix stuff like that. So that might just be more like in my head. Like, what you personally
need to work on more. Like, because the thing I've noticed about stage presence is once you learn it, it's immediately natural.
That is true. Like, I can turn it off and on if I need to most of the time, if I have energy. But
yeah, because if you see something wrong, if you film yourself, if you film your sets especially, you can see what you're doing wrong, and it doesn't take that long to correct it. Yeah, it doesn't. And then once it's corrected, it's so you just fall into it. Yeah. So it really becomes about me for the writing, and also I consider things like faces, sound effects, noises, act outs, all those things as part of the writing as well. Yeah. But that's also because of the way I write, that I'll go face here, blah, blah, blah. Act out here, noise here. Like when I'm writing in the
wow. I don't do that. Like it's funny when I do like the stuff, like anything that's like pretty much non-verbal, it's always like just off the top of my head. Like, oh, this will go good here, and I just do it. Like, maybe I should start like, I don't know. Because, like, I find when I micromanage, I'm even worse. Because it doesn't come across as natural, because it's all on paper. Like, doing stuff like that. So I try to be more, I don't know.
Well, there's definitely a part of being on stage, of stage presence in general, that is being present. Yeah. That if you're in your head going over bits, it can come off very robotic. Yeah. And devoid of soul. But when you're, for me personally, when you're in it, when you're on stage, like performing the material is still keeps you present. Yeah. And it almost becomes like a game or something for me. That when I first started doing stand up, it was kind of all about the laugh for me. They're like, got laughs, didn't get laughs. Yeah, is the only way I'd categorize sets. But now the getting laughs is kind of inconsequential. Not that it's not. If I get nothing, I'm fucking bummed out. But I know I'm gonna get something. So it's always, it becomes more of like a game in my head where I can get the laughs and how big. Yeah, you know, and how can I get the audience to pay attention. And it's weird that it's taken on more of a clinical process for me over time. So you just have to be in it and present. And when you're writing, when you have all those tools available to you to put in sound effects and faces and act outs and stuff in the writing, I think you remember it more.
Mm-hmm.
You remember it better.
Yeah.
And when you're acting it out, you can always go bigger with it.
Yeah.
Each
Sure.
time.
Mm-hmm.
So bigger or smaller or whatever. But there's a lot of ways to keep yourself present, I think, when you're acting, as opposed to just telling jokes.
Yeah.
Because like in that Patton Oswalt bit where he was talking about the 3 classifications of open micers, is like people are going to be something, people that are funny but who gives a shit, and then wackos.
Yeah.
We know plenty of wackos.
Yeah.
But how do you separate yourself from the people who are funny but no one gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like, how do you have something interesting, a point of view, a style? Can you go bigger than anyone else? You know, and I think if you're just standing there delivering jokes, you don't really make an impression.
Yeah.
You have to do something else. You at least, if that's what you're going to do, you have to have a Tig Notaro, Mitch Hedberg style attached to it.
Yeah.
You need kind of something special.
Mm-hmm.
But I see that all the time is a Jewish dude with curly black hair and glasses goes up and just tells jokes to the audience and does every speaking of, you know what's weird?
Yeah.
Here's 20 one-liners I wrote.
Yeah.
I see it all the time.
Uh-huh.
It's super big in Denver. It's like that style. It's those people. And then it's hipstery girls who are like, isn't this stupid? This thing?
Yeah.
Here's another thing that's stupid.
And see,
This thing.
that's like the one thing I think as a comic I might be the proudest about myself right now is I don't have any shame anymore. I have none.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like what I'll talk about on stage. I don't care if it makes me look like a bag of garbage or an idiot or any of that. Like, I don't care if it's at my expense. That's fine as long as it's hilarious. Like, you know, and that I was this is funny because I was having this conversation with a person I knew who's autistic, and I was like trying to explain to her like what I do because she didn't get it. Like, well, I'm a comic. I'm like, well, basically what I do is I think like the best way to put it to like somebody who doesn't get it at all for me would be like just
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I've got another mic. If you want to grab a chair.
Cool.
Yeah, dude. But keep going. We'll get some.
Okay. All right. So yeah, like the way I tried to explain it to her was like
Talking
pretend
about explaining how to do stand up to an autistic girl.
Yeah. Yeah, like pretend that you are your like pretend like think about every bully you've ever had. Now beat them to the punch with every mean thing they have to say. And that's a pretty good place to start, like as far as like being a comic is, and that's a thing like that bugs me. Like I don't see enough people here that like have that like I don't give a fuck attitude. Like if you're gonna fucking make money doing this, like at some point, like to me, it's like you're gonna have to talk about some heavy shit about yourself. Like you can't. Like I think a lot of people, especially now, like everything has to be like a lot of comics are like personal.
That's dark, man.
What?
I like it. You have to come to terms with what you are.
Yeah, like I get. Yeah, that's really what I'm getting at. It's like you have to be comfortable. Like I'm comfortable. I'm completely comfortable with being a pile of garbage because I know that those stories and those choices that I make are probably going to be fucking hilarious because I know I'm not the only one that does it too. Like I feel like having no fear about what I talk about on stage gives me the ability to be more relatable.
Yeah.
Because then I'll talk about the things that everybody does, but they don't want to talk about, like getting blackmailed by a cam whore. I'm not the only one that's happened to, and nobody wants to talk about it.
No, you're not.
That's like a shame thing. Like, no, I'm not going to tell anybody about that. Like, that makes me look like a moron. a horny moron, which is like the two worst things to be sometimes is the horny idiot. Like,
that's such an intriguing topic. Like,
and then I'm like, oh, I acted like a horny idiot. Of course I'm gonna talk about this on stage. Whereas like anybody I know would be like, what the fuck is your problem?
I'll take that to my grave.
Yeah, I'll take that to my grave. Or you're shaming your family. Stop talking about this. Like, meanwhile, I'm over here like, I did something bad and dumb. Mm-hmm. This is gonna be hilarious later.
Yeah. That was. Oh, this is gold.
Yeah.
Like, what just happened to me is gold.
Yeah.
That's genius. I don't mean to interrupt the conversation.
No, dude.
But you said you got blackmailed by a cam whore.
Yeah.
Did you already talk about this?
No.
I want to hear about this, please.
You want to hear about this?
Yes, please.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right. I'll just tell the story. I'm not gonna bit it up as much.
Yeah.
Because it's not the place for this. So I just broke up with. We know who I broke up with.
Yes.
Out of a 3-year
They will
relationship.
remain unnamed.
And I was going from like having sex all the time, basically, to like none. And this is my first like really heavy breakup, so I'm like sitting here like, what the fuck do I do? Like, I'm waking up every morning like pissed, just mad, which is dumb because I'm just mad. I realized later like the only reason it's dumb for me to be mad at this point, because the only reason I'm mad is because I don't have her telling me my dick is gross every morning. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was mad at that. I was like, I realized finally, like, no, you're not like
somebody told me my dick is gross.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting laid every morning. Like, you know that wasn't happening. Like, she would just be like, ugh, get your boner off me, and then like, roll over, and I'll just, and now I don't have that, and I'm angrier. Like, why am I madder? Like, I won, So I was talking to Corey about it because I was on Tinder for a while, and it was just fucking bought. Like, I was getting nothing, and I'd like to think I have a little bit of game, not a lot, but a little. Like, I should have been getting a few bites. And then I talked to Corey, and he's like, dude, you need to cast your net as wide as possible. Like, your net's too small. Get on every single dating site you could think of and just make a profile for all of them. Make that net wide. I swear to God, you'll get some bites. And I was like, all right, cool. So I went on every single one of them. Match.com, Plenty of Fish, OkCupid, Farmers Only, Black People Meet, all of them.
You'd be surprised how many white women are on Black People Meet. Because once I actually made a profile on Black People Meet. And they're like, what are you doing on this website? And I was like, what are you doing on this website? I know what you're doing. All right, I'm done. Like, I just wanted to see.
Yeah. So I get on all these, and eventually I get I got a bunch of pings. Some of them like meh. Some of them like all right. Eventually I get this blonde chick, pretty normal profile, normal picture. Like, I'm smart enough to like. This is the thing. I'm also smart enough to figure out the difference between like a normal dating profile and an obvious bot or a cam whore. Like, they're too pretty for you, and they have only like 2 pictures, and they haven't filled out any of their info. Like, oh, you're fucking probably a bot or something. Like, this can't be a real profile. This profile was like totally normal, believable, 100%. She told me to get on Kick. That was like the first thing.
That's the giveaway. Okay.
Yeah, that was the first red flag, and I was like, fuck it, because me and my brother use Kick all the time to stay in contact with each other. Because sometimes Facebooks don't work, or my cell phone number will change. So I'm like, I'll text my brother on Kick all the time. Because that's like, it was just an easy way for both of us to like stay in touch. And so I didn't really think anything of it, but at the same time, back in my head, I was like, I know where this is going. Her profile name is Swallow999 on Kick.
Oh yeah.
Now you gotta remember. I gotta stay through like this. I'm like still angry, horny.
Yeah.
It's been like
you're willing to roll the dice.
Yeah, it's been less than a month since I've broken up with her.
Yeah.
I'm still like having fucked up sex dreams about her, which is just making me angrier.
You're not using your full IQ.
No, I'm not. I'm thinking with my head, not my head. Yeah. So
what are you like 27?
Yeah.
And recently
I'm thinking
broke
like
up?
A fucking angry 15-year-old.
Yeah, your brain is mostly cum.
Like when you jack off and then your brain gets clear, the distance between wanting to jack off again is too close.
Yeah.
So you can never think straight.
Yeah. So And it was this whole like thing. Like I've never been a guy who like gets online and asks for nudes and shit. So it was like a new experience for me to like get into that. So I was like, it doubled the horniness for me. I was like, oh, I get to like fucking ask for nudes and shit. I've never done this before. This is a lot of fun. Like, and it just made my boner go from like a 10 to a 12 immediately. Like, yeah, something new and interesting and weird.
From hard already to
yeah. From hard to diving board hard. Like, so
spring on
start messaging. She sends me some pics. Then she asks for a nude. Me. Solicited. Mistake number 2. Should have known. Like, this fast in the conversation, and she's already asking for a dick pic. This can't be good. But yet again, I'm gonna roll that dice. Also, like, I still have all of my ex's garbage in my head of like, I have a big dick and like I'm good at bed and all that. Like I still, like, you know, I believe all those lies still. So
you've been conditioned.
Yeah. So I still think that like, oh, she knows how to pick them. You know, like I'm cocky too. I'm cocky about it. Literally.
Tyler's back, baby.
Yeah. So, where was that? Oh, so I send her a dick pic. And
please tell me it was on the toilet.
No, it's like
you have to take a shit, but you're already like I'm already here.
Yeah,
no. Get a twofer
right.
in.
No, I did do a twofer. What I did. This is the best part.
You don't want to send one like 3 hours later because then she knows you were like posing everywhere in your apartment.
Yeah,
you have to get it immediately.
Yeah.
You're already taking a jump.
Funny too, because like
a dick pic? No. There's like there's a Duke in the background. Hey, like, you wanted one, so.
So I go in the bathroom, and it's funny. I'm doing this on a podcast, so like you're just gonna have to describe what I'm doing, or I'll do it because I do it funny. I take the picture. The one that I go with, it's balls, dick, my face.
Yeah.
So you know, salty walnuts, frowny face, happy face. You know.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and I've learned this trick. I don't remember where I learned it. Probably on 4chan. If you hold your dick, pretend this is your cock. You hold it like this, and you kind of have your knuckles back. It looks like you can barely hold your cock. You have to pretend that you're getting a hand job like a velociraptor.
It's a visual trick through the slight lens.
Give that a name. Can we give that a name, please? Let's give that a name.
With the slight lens bend that comes with the camera, it makes your hand look slightly smaller.
Yeah.
How about the baby hand selfie?
The baby hand selfie. I was thinking like what are those claw games that are like at Denny's and shit where you grab the toy? Is there a name specifically for those? Like
claw game, just call it the claw.
The claw.
Yeah. It's the claw.
Give her the old claw.
The baby claw.
It's not really.
Baby claw.
It's not a valid grip.
It's not a valid grip. It's not a valid dick grip.
It's not gonna. You're not gonna make it to the prize hole.
I do that, and then I send it to her. And by the way, at this point, even my dick knows that this is a bad idea. So like part of my reasoning for holding it like a velociraptor was because I'm going soft now. Like I was at a 12, and now I'm about a 6, and he looks like he's pouting. Like, because now in my head I'm like, this is bad. Why are you doing this? But you know, I'm still like, no, fuck it, just send it to her. She can pick greatness. You have big dick, do it. Just send it to her.
Yeah.
So I send it to her.
Fuck it.
And 2 minutes later, less than that, probably like 2 minutes later or so, I get a text back, and it's a list of all my family members on Facebook.
Oh God!
So she like tied the picture to my profile somehow, probably through Google facial recognition or something like that. It's probably pretty easy to do it.
Yeah. Some people make it. They make a living off that shit.
Yeah. And she's like, if you don't get on my Camhor site and pay the $30 membership fee and show me that registration and everything, I'm gonna send this dick pic to your entire family. And I sat there and panicked for about 10 or 15 minutes, sweating. Like, went through every debit card I had and gift card. I didn't have any money on anything. Like, I'm poor. I'm real poor. I have money on nothing. And, but it's funny because I didn't panic enough to, like, I still had a little bit of shame.
Actually pay?
No, I had a little bit of shame.
No, what I'm gonna do? Not gonna pay the bitch, but or the dude.
Yeah, right.
More than likely,
Yeah,
the man
at this
who
point,
is
yeah.
making a decent living.
Yeah. Fucking over idiots like me. I didn't like bother until I asked Nyland, Chris,
Yeah.
or Rubbery if they had like $30 I could borrow.
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I get $30 to pay off a blackmail?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, so I sat there for a while. And I have to stipulate this. Like, it seems to me, I don't even know. They're probably not gonna ever listen to this, and I'll get shit for it later. But it seems to me as though my parents don't fucking care that I do this. There's no real support.
Do what?
Comedy. Like, there's no real like.
You'd be
They
surprised.
think
You'd be
this is a
surprised
phase.
how many people don't give a shit that you do comedy.
Yeah, no, and that's
Like-
fine. Like, it would be nice.
Nobody.
It would be
Nobody
nice
gives a
if
shit that
Nobody.
you do comedy.
Yeah.
That I am
Yeah.
an open micer for life.
Nobody cares. Like, believe me, I've tried that on the dating profiles. Nobody cares. Like, that's not gonna
Yeah.
get me laid.
No,
That's not
it
gonna get me
doesn't.
to
No,
go
no.
with
The
it.
most it gets you is propositioned by an old couple
Yeah.
in Pueblo.
Yeah. That was a good one.
That's your guaranteed.
That was a good one.
Yeah. Really, it just tells people you're unemployed on a dating site.
Yeah. Right.
Like, if you say you're a comedian and I haven't seen you on TV, probably not gonna fuck you.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, Jesus.
So
It's actually a negative. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
it's actually a negative.
Don't ever tell anybody you do that. In fact, it'll make your witty quips better
Yeah,
if you say you
it makes
don't.
you look.
Yeah.
It makes you
So,
look funny.
Holy shit! Say you're an accountant.
yeah. Right.
From now on, oh, you just changed my life, you guys. Holy fuck! Say you work in a cubicle and you have no social life, but yet somehow you're secretly witty. Fuck yeah!
dude. I
And
tell,
then dick pic them.
That dick pic.
yeah, dude. I tell everyone that I work.
Unsolicited dick pics will always get you not blackmailed,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just blocked.
which is a better deal.
Yeah.
Really.
Better.
So you're really cutting your losses there. I'm sorry. Continue. I'm sorry.
Fine.
By the way, I always tell people I'm in construction because no one ever is like, "Oh, you're in construction. Build me a house." I want to see you build me a house right
What do
now.
you construct? Teepees, you homeless.
So
Stand twos, keep the rain off your head mostly.
I'm
So you're
sitting
at
there and
$30.
I have this like thought, like a little bit of me of like why I don't say a lot of stuff on social media is I know like family members follow me. I don't want to like cause a ruckus. It was in this moment that I finally stopped caring about that. Like, I realized I have the plus side of being a shitty comic in Colorado Springs. I have complete. I'm completely
anonymity.
Yeah, anonymity. Thank
I
you.
learned that on
So-
the Incredibles.
Isn't it anonymity?
Anonymity. Anonymity.
Something about an ant and a monster.
Anonymity. Okay,
Anon-
now I'm lost. Fuck you, guys.
So
Anonymity. There you go.
so I realized like I don't have a career to even ruin, so I have that working for me, and I don't fucking care what anybody in my family thinks anymore. So the first thing I did was I got on Facebook before I finally like made the deal with this bitch or dude. I got on Facebook and I was like, "Hey everybody, you might get a dick pic. Real sorry, but I don't care." Like, that was pretty much the
Real
gist of it.
sorry. Here it comes.
Yeah, and I have 3 different messages of like, "Hey, I got blackmailed by a cam whore. If you get a dick pic, I'm sorry, but hey, that's just sometimes how life is." Like, I handled it pretty
That's-
fucking well.
That's an excellent one. Because then they'll get it like, oh my God.
And
He
then
said it was coming. Didn't think it was coming. Here it is. This man's integrity is through the roof.
So I send that out on Facebook to everybody. And then I send back to her like, "Fucking do it, bitch. Send it to my family.
Yeah.
I don't care."
Oh man, you should have said something cooler. Like
I think I have it all screen capped.
Like,
because
cool.
I do remember
cool.
like I do remember like
CEWL kill.
I do remember like I started trolling her like before this happened, where I was like, "Oh no, my career, not my career," and then I get this response back like, "What?" But
oh no, my homelessness will become even worse.
The closet will kick me out because I'm a slut.
Get out of here. You got
The
nothing.
water heater's judging me.
You got nothing on me.
Yeah.
So
what did fucking the Joker say when Batman was kicking the shit out of him? Like, tell me where the bombs are, and he's like, you have nothing.
yeah,
You cannot.
all of your God, what does it say? All of your power.
Yeah.
And you have nothing on me, or
nothing.
something
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, that's a good line.
Like,
Yeah.
like that was
Beat the fuck
perfect.
out of him in the
You should have showed a
interrogation
pic,
room.
like send a picture of like the Joker, like you have nothing.
Yeah.
Like holy fuck. You don't understand. If there was a rock bottom, I'm deep in a hole below it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess to end this story, like, I don't know if any of my family members or friends I have on Facebook have received my dick pic.
Ask them.
Nah, I like to.
Hey, did you get my dick pic?
You like remaining the mystery?
I like the mystery of it. I like running into people now and not knowing if they've seen me naked or not.
Hey, how'd you, dude? Say, give them a vague question. Hey, how'd you like the picture?
Right?
How'd you like the picture?
Yeah.
What picture? Oh,
Okay,
I was at the wine bar and wink at somebody who doesn't know what's going on.
You said it was Swallow 999.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna Photoshop a picture of my dick to be giant and then send it to her so she has to blackmail me.
Oh my
Send to
God.
everyone.
That is how you do it from now on.
That's how you
Lie
do
about
it.
your dick photos from now on.
So
Yeah.
I should just lie.
Keep doing it shamelessly, but
Yeah.
like send like
Yeah. If I have a preloaded dick pic where I'm like fucking gigantic and she's like, I'm gonna send this to everyone you know, and I'm like, no, please don't.
everyone knows I'm a giant cock.
Even my grandma. Like,
Holy shit, there's no losing.
watch group dynamics change.
Yo, if you think about it long
Yeah,
enough,
yeah.
you can not even that, like become invulnerable. Like you win or you win.
Right?
Oh, win-win scenarios for like blackmail. Even at work, like I saw a picture of your dick. It was huge. I can't fire you, bro. Like I'm just so proud.
Can you teach me? If I don't fire you, will you teach me?
It's not something I could teach, bro. And then you adjust. That is an awesome story.
But yeah, it became the best bit I've ever written. So
awesome.
possibly.
There's always a silver. Hey, did you guys do comedy last night?
Mm-hmm.
And how'd it go?
I did amazing. I was great.
How about
Bojan thought I was awesome.
Yeah.
The one person who was like listening to me.
you? How was it? What kind of venue was it?
It was a festival.
Yeah.
Festival? Where was it? And what
So-
made it air quote festival?
It was a festival in a bar with like 30 comics on the bill, and we were like
4
two.
or 5 showed up total.
Yeah, like
And we
5.
were there.
I guess everyone else showed up like
Way
6
later.
hours later.
Yeah.
So
It's funny because
I
on
don't
the
know.
on the bill and everything it says it starts at 6. Like
yeah,
we were competing with the Broncos game. They were bribing people to come watch us at halftime with shots.
Oh my god.
yeah.
That sucks. So
Yeah.
what made you do great? What happened?
Oh, I just felt good about my set because I made like the last
You
6 people.
had people. You had like 6 or
Yeah.
7 when you did it.
I made like the last 6 people that were still in the room
yeah.
laugh pretty consistently, so I felt
Nice.
good. But they all disappeared by the time Tyler was up on stage.
So I just did my set to another comic who had never
Yeah.
heard any of my crap, and he thought it was great. So I was like,
Yeah.
Oh,
cool.
Bojan?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bojan's cool. I like Bojan.
Sit, listen. It was fine.
Well,
Oh,
so you have I think you're a strong comic. So yeah, it sucks you didn't have an audience for it. Like
Yeah.
your timing is like whatever you're doing, because you do this thing where you're like you'll say something and to you it's funny. Here it comes, and you'll hit them with it.
Yeah.
Aha! I love it. Cause your timing.
I have this thing.
Scratch your face.
I gotta stop doing
You'll
that.
scratch
I
your face when
do
you're.
you think I should keep it or lose it? 'Cause I
I
have
don't
this
know.
thing where it's
I
like I
like
should
it.
stop touching
I
my
like
face
it.
every time I tell
I
bits.
like it because when you start,
But
whether it's like yeah, whether it's like it's an awkward moment or not, you seem like you're enjoying it, like you're enjoying.
well, yeah,
that
because
time.
like a lot, because I've developed. I feel like I'm starting to like develop a little bit of a style where like.
Mr. Raney.
Thanks for inviting me to your house, dude.
Oh, I didn't invite you, but you're fucking
How's it going, man?
Have a seat, my friend.
Good.
Dan Raney. Take the spot.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Are you not on it?
No, I was, but I want to listen.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's just hanging out.
I'm gonna. You're gonna hate this, man. I have to leave my phone on vibrate.
No, go for it. If that's what you got to do.
Answer it, dude. You know what? Fuck it. We'll just turn it off.
Right. Dan Raney's here, everybody.
I am.
I'm digging the beard, man.
Thank you. I've been trying on that pretty hard. Trying hard, man. It's been 2 months going, and I keep shaving a little bit off. I got cowlicks, man, and the thing spins, and then it grows out like this. But you ever been able to grow? Oh, you're not on the podcast, sorry. I got nothing to say to you, but
Yeah. You came in at a great time because Tyler was just telling everybody about his grandma might have gotten a dick pic from him.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot to go back into the story, but that's the energy you just walked in to let you know what's going on.
I'm talking about beards. Let's hear this, man.
Okay, I guess like brief overview. Broke up with a she who will not be named. Got angry, horny like a teenager. Went on every single dating site I could find. At Corey's Corey told me to do this, which was already like should have done that.
Right.
Get on every dating website. Find a girl who will talk to me. Turns out she's a cam whore. I know she's a cam whore, but I don't care because I'm so like angry horny that
Cool.
I'll go for it. I sent her a dick pic, and then she threatens to.
Were you talking like live Jasmine kind of cam whore? Like.
I don't know. It could have been a dude with a couple of pictures who just blackmailed people on Kick. I don't know.
Okay,
but,
fair enough.
There's grift in the system. There's a way to make money.
But send him a dick pic. I get a text back a couple minutes later with a list of like all my family members on Facebook. They're like, I'm gonna send this to all your family members if you don't give me $30. And I'm like, I don't have $30 anywhere.
They blackmailed you for $30,
and I didn't have enough money to pay that. So I was just, eventually, I was just like, I've really evolved as a person after this event because now I just don't care anymore. Like, because I was eventually
you're a
just
free
like,
man. Like,
do it, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, send it. I don't care. Like, do it. And this also, I went on Facebook right beforehand. It was like, hey, all, you might get a dick pic, LOL. And you know, like, that was fun.
Oh man.
Yeah. What dignity are you holding on to?
None.
Yeah.
See, I've been married
Finally
10 years,
free.
dude. I don't have that kind of excitement in my life anymore. Like, blackmailed for $30 though. I don't. That's
well, it's terrifying.
I don't know who's
because-
more sad, that guy or you, without $30.
I
you
know,
know?
right? Yeah. It's terrifying because I'm learning that like this kind of shit that happens to me is really funny usually, and it makes great material.
Mhm.
But like, how much of my life do I have to ruin to finally make it?
Yeah. How low do you have to go?
Yeah, how low do I have to go?
Oh my
like,
god, man.
I really like dirty, nasty, like
Mhm.
shameless comics. Like who's the one that does the bit about the bike being too good for him?
I don't remember.
Oh God, see, I'm trying to talk about comics now. I can't name any. But like I listen to like a lot of like dirtier, grosser comics or like really personal. And I'm like, oh, I really like that style, but I don't know if I could ever be them. And then now I'm watching myself like slowly turn into that.
Yeah.
Because like, what else?
I like that style too, man. But I think the hard part is like you usually have to start hosting, and like you can't open up with.
Yeah,
that's what I ran into.
Yeah.
Like, You can't open up with that shit when you're hosting.
Garbage when you're a host. It's
Yeah,
real
especially
hard.
if the headliner's clean and like doing song
Mhm.
and dance shit, and then
Yeah.
you open up talking about your dick or whatever. Like you can't do it, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's the tough part.
Yeah.
You want to set the tone of the whole show as kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why I struggle so much hosting my mic. I don't know how to start it because the only way I know how to start a set for me is to just shit all over myself. That's immediately my go-to. It's just
Right.
to get the audience on my side. I've got like 5 minutes of me just talking about how much of a piece of shit I am.
I actually start my set the same way, talking shit about you. Like,
About me? Oh, that's nice. Glad to know I'm getting around.
Yeah.
So that does not translate when you're hosting at all because everybody's just like kind of bummed out. They feel bad for you.
Well, I've done that. I've done that in host spots before, and it ends up where like the feature's on stage, and the audience is like, "Yeah, but can someone go check on that guy from before to make sure he's okay before we move on with the show?"
Yeah, right.
Because the next
Put
guy
the
gets up there
damper on
like,
shit,
our banana's crazy. Like we want to know if he's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've gotten yelled at for doing that stuff before by headliners when I first started hosting, man. They were just like, "You cannot do that ever again."
Yeah.
And I don't have anything different, man. I don't know. I got some clean stuff, but nobody gives a shit about the Cleveland Browns. You know, like nobody cares about football jokes, and I don't give a shit about it. Yeah, that's the worst part about comedy is like having to kind of pull yourself back in and like
To
rein yourself
give
in.
a shit about some pieces of pop culture.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Just having to talk about something you don't care about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's
I know,
just the
yeah,
fucking
like-
worst.
You can't talk about your dick. Well, then I can.
about
I can't get it
Well, I
in my
guess we're
set
done
and
here.
feel it.
Yeah, shit. So how long you guys been on, man? What have you guys been doing since I was so incredibly late?
Oh, no worries. We started like at 6, so we were just
6
going
o'clock.
to hang
Oh
out.
shit, I am super late, man. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Oh, no worries. Like
Didn't you
whenever
say it
got
was
it.
at 7
Yeah,
o'clock?
yeah, 7.
Okay, sorry.
But we were just gonna do one and kind of talk. Anyway.
Yeah, whatever
Just
works.
keep
Man.
going.
I don't give
Yeah,
a
yeah.
shit. Wow, that's funny.
So it's all
Is
cool.
it already rolling and all that?
Yeah, yeah.
I hate to do this because I don't know if anybody gives a shit. But how was Sarah Fest last night? Were you on it?
Marco just asked us
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh, so that's already been covered.
Oh, I
we'll
haven't-
talk
no,
about it
no.
afterwards.
Let's
Not
recap, and
really.
I haven't covered. Well, Mark, what are you saying? No? Oh, okay. I didn't even cover like the worst part of what happened to me. Like, so there's 30 comics on this
I
bill.
did great, by the
Yeah.
way.
Were you on it?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, badass, dude. That's cool. I should have asked you that then.
There were 30 comics on this bill. They're supposed to start at 6, which is right in the middle of a Bronco game. We get there. We're like the only 3 there,
Yeah.
and then like couple more come in, and so like out of the 30,
It's me, him, Bojan,
yeah,
Sareth, and
Uh-huh.
then this guy Michael Sword who had never done stand up
Yeah.
The A team. This is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
this is
yeah,
good. This is
literally,
cool.
We got the fucking Justice League here.
Oh my god. Did anybody else end up showing up?
Later after we left,
Yeah,
because we did our.
apparently. Weren't you supposed to be on there?
Sure was. Sure
Did
was.
you ever
man.
make it?
Nope. Sure did.
Because I heard the rest of the comics showed up at like midnight, and we left at 8.
Yeah,
Oh
After
my.
hanging out
I
there
can't
for a few
imagine
hours.
anybody was still around.
yeah.
I feel
So,
bad, man, because the guy's so nice and he books it in advance, but every time I've been on, it's been the worst show I've ever been on, and not because of the show, but
Really?
because of my performance or like I don't know. I had some when I first started. Like it was one of my first shows I got invited to do, and like he
Yeah.
put me on right after a thrash metal band.
That's
And
what
I-
happened to me.
I'm looking down at my notes, like listening, like as they're going, just "Whoa," and I'm looking at my notes and it says Tom Hanks. What do you do with that shit, man? I don't know. Like
Oh,
every
shit.
time I've been on that, I've just eaten it. The next time I was on Sarah Fest, it was some guy who was dying of cancer who was there, and they tied it in with his like celebration of life while he was still alive. I'm probably fucking it up, but the mood was not good.
Conducive
You
to
know,
comedy,
yeah.
yeah.
And then like Tom Hanks jokes were great, but that's when I had dick jokes. You know, I've never figured out how to do it. It's,
You
like,
can
just-
never
Yeah.
it's
write
not
the
good.
right
man.
jokes for the right occasion.
Yeah, but hey
I've-
man, he puts a show together more than I've ever done.
I've done that once before and I haven't been able to quite forgive myself for it. Is bombing in front of someone who's terminally ill. Like they have 2 months and I just took away 10 minutes
I know.
of some very precious time.
Yeah.
That is actually good. Man, I wish I thought of that because that is a good premise. Man. That's a fucking hell of a premise. That's a good 5
Yeah.
minutes out of that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's but well, so it didn't go.
Well, he did. He got. So they bribed people at halftime because the game's still on. Bribed
Sure.
people at halftime to go up to like watch whoever's on the stage with shots.
Yeah.
So,
So they papered the room with booze.
Yeah.
It's the best combination of
That's
things.
any
for an
comedy club in
audience.
the country, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think bravo, man. Good for them. That's
so,
what you gotta do.
He gets up in front of like 6 or 7 people.
Yeah.
Does pretty well.
And the comics.
Good
And
for you,
then,
dude.
Yeah.
And then the game's back on. Then I go on. And I had a moment where I was like, I don't want to go up because it's a losing battle to compete with a football game. But I was like, fuck it, let's do it. So I go up, do a quick like 3 because it's just awful. And Bojon's the only one I'm performing to because Nyland and everybody's already heard this shit.
Yeah.
Bojon hasn't heard anything that I've done because I don't think he's ever seen me. So I just do my set to Bojon pretty much the whole time. Did pretty good with him. Fucking, if we're gonna count Bojon as the
Is he the
only
judge?
audience
Yeah.
member,
Yeah.
I killed. I did great.
Hell yeah,
The
man.
worst part though was like I'm trying to get the fuck off the stage after my set as fast as I can.
Right.
Like just fucking go.
Yeah.
By the way, crushing to one person
Yeah.
sounds like joke punchline. Ha!
yeah, right, yeah, yeah, pretty much.
that does suck, man. Well, I mean, Guess I
So
don't.
I'm
I
trying-
regret skipping a gig because that's a horrible way to get more. You know,
Yeah.
you never get
Yeah.
booked
Yeah.
and you skip a gig. You never get booked, so you don't want to be that guy. But I'll take this one. I feel
You'll
like
take-
I dodged a bullet here.
Yeah.
The best part of the whole thing was after I just like
Ate a dick.
ate a dick in the void.
Yeah.
Sarah gets on stage with like a camera, and
He goes, let's
asks
meet
me,
a comedian.
He wants to interview the comedian, me, and I'm fucking mad. I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Because of just what happened, and like I'm nowhere in my career to a point. What career, by the way? I'm nowhere in. I've been doing this for 3 years. I still haven't figured out a way to like. I've shortened that time between bombing and getting over it. Like the depression is shorter, but that was not
Immediately
happening.
after.
Yeah, immediately after. I'm still like, I need to go smoke a cigarette. And hate
Have you ever
myself
been
for 10
asked
minutes.
about your process
Yeah.
when you don't believe in it anymore because it just saw
Oh
it
man,
fail?
I'm living in it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, right?
Oh, it is the. You guys ever get asked about how to write like, tell me a joke? Because I still don't have a
Yeah.
response for that. I
Yeah.
still don't know what to say. I have nothing.
I just told Marco as I tell people I'm in construction because no one goes, okay, build me a house.
oh
See, what I
God,
do,
Yeah.
like,
that's a
like,
very
they
good point.
go tell me a joke. I think my thing usually is like, oh, what do you do? I'm an
Uh-huh.
accountant. Do my fucking taxes for me, and then I'll tell you a joke. How
Right,
about that?
right.
You want to trade? Because I'll trade.
I'd love
You're not
to
going to
trade.
pay me for this, but I'll trade goods and services. Like,
Man, that's not a bad point. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had a joke. I wonder what like other people do. Like if somebody asked Fonseca to tell him a
he
joke,
has
what does
one.
he say?
Yeah, he has one. It's so a comedian someone asked a comedian at a party to tell a joke, and he says, "Okay, so there's a comedian at a party." And someone asked a comedian
and he just goes down the rabbit hole with that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
when he does it on stage. He says, "I told that joke for 10 hours in Pueblo once."
I was thinking about it, man. Like, obviously, he's amazing, but I'm very jealous of the fact that if he wanted to, he could go up there and stretch like 6 jokes out as long
Yeah.
as he wants.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he has something that nobody else does, and it's amazing how good his delivery is and like his stage presence, because like he really does have good stage presence, but he can't fucking move. Like,
We've
Yeah.
noticed
amazing.
That, me and Rummery have noticed that he does this thing in between some of his jokes just to like really hit home that like he knows what he's doing. He does this thing where he looks at everybody like he's the only one that knows where the body's buried. Like a badass,
Yeah.
like a stone cold, like he's not very scary, but when he does that face, me and Rummery are both like, he gets fucking spooky for a
Yeah.
second. Like
he only has one face,
you
man.
remember you remember that like he has this
Ah. Guy's a fucking killer, dude. I'll never forget the first time I saw him. Before I even started doing comedy, I went to Looney's, and
Yeah.
I'm sure your listeners know Chris Fonseca.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So
This
I-
is actually like his podcast. His fucking face is on the face.
oh yeah, absolutely it is.
But
yeah.
he couldn't be here today.
Okay, well, cool, man. But I remember the first time I ever saw the guy, and like it gets real quiet, and like as they wheel him out, and then
Mhm.
Eric and the guys who work there come out and like have to pick him. The applause is done for the feature, and then they're just
Yeah.
like, "Here he comes." And I'm like, "Oh shit, this sucks, man. This is gonna be the worst." Like fucking pity laughs because I'm sitting up front as a fanboy of comedy,
Mhm.
and they end up picking him up, and it's real quiet, man. Then he goes up there with that opener, and like I don't even remember what he said, but it was amazing. I mean, it
Mhm.
fucking really throws you for a goddamn loop how
Yeah.
funny he is, and
Yeah.
I just want to strap myself to a wheelchair and see if I can steal his whole goddamn
Yeah,
act.
yeah.
because That shit is
Right.
ridiculous.
I remember one thing that really caught me off guard about his act is I saw him like get a laugh with 20 seconds where he didn't say anything. It was just like 8 seconds of silence, and then he went, "Yeah," fucking applause break, and then silent for another whatever.
What an asshole, man. I hope you're watching this, Fonseca.
Yeah. I'll show it
God
to him
damn
later.
it, man. Yeah, that is cool shit, dude. It's pretty amazing to be able to have those kind of credentials.
Yeah.
I'm about ready to stop doing it, man. I'm just dying right now. Dying
Really?
inside. How do you perform? That's what I want to learn how
Yeah,
to do,
yeah.
man. I write fucking dumb Facebook jokes and try to like shoehorn them into a goddamn set. How the fuck do you go up there and perform? I don't know how to
Yeah.
do it. If you guys can figure it out, let me know. But
Yeah. I've been trying to, because I get so bored here with the open mics and stuff, that
Oh,
I
yeah.
just started like trying to take away anything I've gotten good at.
Yeah.
And I'm down
Good
to, I've been trying to figure out crowd work because I'm the worst at crowd work.
yeah,
And so I've just been bombing consistently
That's
for like
my
3
MO.
straight weeks.
Yep, that's
trying to
all I
figure
do
it
is
out.
crowd work, man, because I just can't. And it sucks. But I can't tell my jokes anymore. Like I'm about
Really?
ready to end it all. I just don't know how you go up there and keep
Go
saying
lose
the
hope.
same shit. Oh no, I'm gonna keep going.
Okay, good.
I know this is just part of it, man. You
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
go
yeah,
up
yeah.
there and do it. But
Yeah, no.
I stopped going to open mics altogether, man. I can't do it. I just can't do it, man. I can't sit up there
Yeah.
and smile and laugh. I'm not listening to you guys, and you're
Yeah,
not listening
I'm
to
not
me.
listening to anybody either.
Nobody's listening to anybody, man. It's a big crock of shit. The whole thing's a farce.
It
It's a complete crock of shit. No, it's true, man.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
agree.
Yeah. So what else you guys talk about outside of comedy, man? What do you do on this podcast? I've seen a few of them, and you didn't cover too much comedy, so I don't know if you want to waste your time on it. But
Oh no. I like talking about comedy. But yeah, we just for the most part, it's talk radio, whatever we want to talk about.
oh, nice. That's
but
cool.
I was kind of interviewing Tyler a little bit earlier. Did you like grow up in the Springs? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Iowa.
Iowa?
Yeah, and then I joined the military because I failed out of community college, and then I got out and I had nowhere to go, so I moved here, and I've been here ever since, man.
How long did you spend in Iowa before you
Oh,
turned-
yeah, all fucking
all the way till 18?
Yeah, I was all the way there.
and just enlisted in the Air Force from there?
Yeah, dude, there's nothing exciting. Like pre-comedy, there's nothing exciting. It's just a bunch of drugs and
Mhm.
just drugs, and not even like fun drug stories, like
Yeah.
doing cocaine at my own house. Like, you know what I mean? Like doing coke in your bedroom is not
Yeah.
very exciting. I don't even have the good stories.
Just
man, but-
passing time till you can leave.
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah, and then I just hung out and joined the fucking Air Force and got sober for 5 years and got out, and then I got out for drugs. That's what I wanted to do, man. I wanted to
Yeah.
move to Colorado and do the legal weed thing, and then found out I can't smoke weed very well. Like I grow it, but I'm not very good at smoking it, man. Like, can you don't smoke weed, do you? You're a sober guy.
No,
aren't you?
not really. But I also don't smoke just because I'm bad at it.
Oh, so
Like
you
I
don't-
would smoke weed,
Why don't you
but
smoke?
no, I just suck at it. I pass out immediately. I had him roll some cigarettes for me because it's about once a year someone will talk me into it. They're like, "No, hit this, man. You got
joints
blah,
or
blah, blah."
cigarettes?
Cigarettes, because I was like, well, maybe if I roll it in the cigarette, the nicotine will step on it and the filter will step on it. And if I only put in a little bit, and still, like, I was like white knuckling trying to stay awake.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So-
Oh yeah.
So
And-
if I hit a pipe, I'm just out for a couple hours. It
I
does
get that.
nothing else to me.
Yeah. I don't see a lot of
And,
incentive there.
I made these. They were like 4/5 cigarette,
Yeah.
1/5 weed, if that.
Yeah.
If that. Full weed, and he's
Mhm.
still.
Yeah.
apparently just like,
If I make some more of those, I'll do half.
half of what I did before, which
Half
is like
of what you did
almost
before.
nothing.
So what's your vice, man?
Because
Because you don't drink.
No, I don't drink.
You go to church, and what are you doing? Like, how do you?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really kind of do any drugs. I smoke. I smoke
No, I
cigarettes.
mean vice like gambling, sex, masturbation, anything.
Yeah.
Like, what's your vice?
Yeah, I don't really know. If I have anything, it's cigarettes, caffeine, and then what is it? Like anime for 1 week every couple of months. So it's like
There's no way you can sustain this. You're gonna break
Yeah, yeah.
down. No, you're gonna break down. There's
Oh,
no
break
fucking
down?
way. What are you gonna do? I don't know. You can't just like. I don't
Right.
know. I don't. Fuck. That's. I'm jealous mostly,
Mhm.
but I'm also like perplexed. Like, how
Yeah.
the fuck do you just get
just
off?
shuffle along this mortal coil without
Yeah, I don't understand.
without
that a
any
bit,
occasional
man.
fun to pick you back up.
Huh.
Yeah.
And I know alcohol and drugs aren't fun. I get that, but man, like you have to have something that's just like
Mhm.
stress gets in. You don't go out and like it's not
Right.
like whores or anything like prostitutes. You ever slept with a prostitute?
Now, I've slept with prostitutes before, but that was also back when I was drinking.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
God damn. So I don't have any other follow up questions. That's what happens when there's nothing when you don't do any of the.
Yeah, I've definitely become a workaholic to some extent. And then that also keeps...
That's good. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So that's your vice. You're
Yeah,
a
yeah,
workaholic.
in a way.
There you go. All right, I needed.
Is I
something.
kind of thrive from the stress of it a little bit.
Of course.
Like there's no decompression.
Yeah, yeah.
So just forcing myself to continually work. And then that comes with caffeine and cigarettes.
Yeah, of course. Are you talking
Cigarettes
about work
help
as
you
in
focus.
like the comedy and all the
Yeah.
stuff you do entertainment wise?
Yeah.
Cool, man.
On top of also like building stuff to keep bills paid and whatnot for
What's your day
construction.
job?
I build tables and I work for myself basically, but
Pretty awesome.
what is it? I'll take on odd construction jobs, painting a fence, different stuff like that just to
Sure.
pay bills. I'm trying to get back into making
You
merch
build
again.
tables. That's pretty specific.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
only
that's the
tables.
last-
Somebody else has to build the chairs. Like how do you-
Yeah. That's for some reason that's the only thing that seems to come up often.
Right on.
It's
man.
like I could make a chair, but it's mostly tables people need.
Are you?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
not joking.
No.
Okay, cool.
There's a huge market for people, like rich people always want what was like poor people shit 10, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So you can make for very cheap, like a barn table. I've sold 3 barn tables for like high prices.
Like reclaimed
Something-
wood from a barn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reclaimed wood, but no, like a bench table. Sorry, a bench table where that's the new thing. Where my grandpa built a bench table for my grandma, and I remember when she got chairs, it was a big deal that they had chairs instead of benches. And now, like rich people up north are like, we want a bench table because that's the home.
Well, that's why they're not asking for chairs, asshole. You're building
yeah.
bench tables, right?
Oh yeah, that.
That's crazy,
But
man.
stuff like that.
That's cool, but you're not
people
working
eat
for
up.
the man. Like you're good to
Yeah.
go. Damn, do you work for the man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just got 2 jobs, and I'm sort of
Like today.
Yeah, pretty much. I got the email back from BK too. So.
Okay. Yeah, so he's
British
taking
Knights?
in.
That's a little old for you guys. You probably don't know that. But what's BK?
Burger King.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and
what's the
there's
other
like
one?
another restaurant where they want me to be a dishwasher. So it's just like, which one will work with my schedule better?
I
Yeah.
think you can do both, man, because I don't think any of them offer 40 hours a week, do they?
I don't want 40 hours a week. I'm trying to get a YouTube show off the ground completely.
No shit. Oh, that's
So-
awesome. Oh, God,
and
look
I'm
at you
trying
guys.
to make it like so I can make just enough money to pay all the bills. That would be great if I could. If I could get it to that point, like
Keep your time free.
You should
That's-
start ransoming people for $30 a pop.
yeah,
You
right.
know, like for dick pics.
So like the only like I'm getting this job like really just pay the bills for now, and whatever I have left over, I'm just gonna dump into this YouTube thing until hopefully it starts making money
Good for you, man.
for me and
Yeah.
everybody.
That's why I try and work for myself because it allows me to make my own schedule. Because I can take a lot of shit and deal with shitty clients and whatever else. And sometimes, if I have 40 hours of work this week, I can stay up for 2 days and get it done and then
Yeah.
have the rest of the time to myself. But I'm completely able to make my own schedule, all the time, which is perfect for
It's
stand-up.
amazing. I'm actually really jealous about that. The Burger King, not so much, but like the
The Burger-
tables, dude, it's fucking. That's cool, man.
Plus, it's great. It can be a grind when you don't have anything coming in. But if I need to pay a bill, I just work all week on
Whip up
selling
a
someone a
fucking
table, and it
I
pays
have
this
so
bill.
many goddamn questions. Like, how do you find these table people? Like, or do you not want to give away the? Do you not want to give away like if you don't want to give away the trade? I get
No,
that.
no,
but
it's mostly word of mouth. Is
it's like this guy can whip up a goddamn table.
Yeah.
if I make one person a table, it's keeping up with the Joneses, and everyone that comes and visits wants one too.
Yeah.
So I get all their numbers.
Yeah, I
know,
see.
and
Word of
then they'll
mouth
go-
scares me.
Yeah, and then they'll go like, well, I'll spend more because fuck that table you made before. I want a better one because like fuck Denise.
Yeah,
Who
right.
bought that table?
Oh my god, man, that's insane. Like I've tried word of mouth. That stuff scares me. I will never leave my job because like I've tried word of mouth to get on comedy gigs, and yeah, I can't rely on that. But
Right.
like the table market is just booming right now. There's a table boom. This is fucking insane.
Well, I
I had
feel
no
like-
idea about that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
I feel like nothing about stand-up is reliable. The
No.
most reliable.
Yeah.
No, I was a half
The
hour
word
late
of
to
mouth
this.
got you.
Yeah.
By the way, Bree just texted me. She said she's outside. If you wanna
Okay, yeah,
hop
I'm
in
gonna
their
go.
car.
All right. So, yeah, cool.
Are you
Yeah.
leaving?
Yeah.
Tyler
Uh,
James is leaving the building.
Where are you going, Tyler?
I'm gonna go to Pueblo again. So.
You're going back
He's
to
gonna
Pueblo
go
for
do a
another
hike.
3-minute spot. Where are you performing? Let the masses know. Oh yeah.
Wherever Pants Mike is.
Yep. Does she bring people to that mic, by the way?
There's people there.
I didn't hear a lot of confidence there. A lot of inflection.
It's not bad. It's just more. It's frustrating because the whole time I'm there, it's gonna be this whole like you should be grateful you're even here type of feeling.
Okay, well, when you get there, you tell Pam to go fuck herself. Seriously.
I like how you just
No, seriously, let her know from me. I hope she watches this. I like her.
From me.
I'm on her show next month, but tell her to go fuck herself. From me. Burger
Yeah.
King won't care.
From Dan Raney.
posted that thing a lot, like what, a month ago.
Oh, you're not on the mic. I should not be talking to you. I'm sorry. Bad podcast etiquette.
Yeah, talking to one of the peons. Yeah, I have. Pam has been trying to get me to do that, Mike, and I just don't want to drive to Pueblo
Me either.
for no money.
No, same here. Pueblo used to be banging, man. John Bueno, Wade Ridley, all those guys used to run some really cool shows. I used to perform in front of like probably 100 people. I don't think that's exaggeration there. And like Andy Max, and like they had really good shows. And then I don't know what the fuck happened, man. That whole place fell to pieces. But Pam's still pushing, and I'm on a show there like next week or next month. But I don't know. She used to be able to bring people too. Pueblo used to be pretty badass when it came to comedy, man. But I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Where's good to go now for like open mics and all that stuff?
I'm trying to get something good going at the theater.
Are you guys
here.
doing one here?
Yeah. We do
Nice,
one here
dude.
every Tuesday.
Cool. Is
what
there
is it?
anywhere where like does the audience show up or is it mostly comics?
It's mostly comics here at this one.
I know, man.
I'm trying to get people out. I'm doing a bunch of stuff to try and get some civilians to come into the audience
Sure.
as well. Tyler's mic, I started helping him improve that one, so that one's been getting a little bit better.
That's right, the Gold Camp. Yeah.
We talked to the owner, and I made a deal with them that I would do a little bit of work there in order to let me change up the room. So like I turned off the lights there and
Just fucking
set up
through
some
tables
own-
left and right.
Yeah,
Just
through
building tables
tables.
everywhere.
yeah, tried to organize that room as much as I could get everyone to face the front of the stage.
Deep. It's too deep too. Yeah. So
just put on a spotlight to the stage and
badass, man.
center it.
You're a
so
grinder, man. That's awesome.
yeah, it makes a huge difference on that place because every time I would go up there, it's such a bright room
True.
that's the thing that I have the hardest time overcoming is a bright room, because I've done that place before and I've seen them in the audience where like I'll do a joke and the boyfriend will laugh and the girlfriend will hit him and go, "Don't laugh at that, we're in public."
God.
Like you're not allowed
But
to
you
laugh
know
at
what? Those kind of rooms, man. Like,
Right.
I'm not good at writing, so I do crowd work. And when you can see everybody, and like you're
Yeah.
saying, you want to do more crowd work,
Yeah,
that may be the best way to go. It's horrible for a show. I agree. I think you're doing the right thing. But
Mhm.
when you can see everybody, at least you can talk shit on absolutely everybody.
Right.
I don't like it when you can't see people and like I can just hear my joke die, but I
Yeah.
can't see the reactions.
I think there's a like a really good median spot closer to completely black, but not completely enough that you can see the audience.
Yeah, and it does like when you people shut the fuck up, like when you turn off the lights. So
Yeah.
it's probably not a bad play, man.
I went and saw Bobby Slayton at Downtown Comedy Works.
Oh no kidding!
And I had seen
Speaking of dirty comics.
yeah,
right.
but I had seen Joey Diaz like 2 weeks earlier, and it was completely pitch black in there. But when I saw Bobby Slayton, like the lights were kind of turned up, and
Just
I was
so we
like,
could-
"Wow, yeah, this is weird, a weird atmosphere, so everyone can see each other." But at the same time, he was able to pick someone out in the back of the room and trash him. So he was going everywhere.
That guy's
everywhere,
a mile
everywhere.
a minute, man. I
Oh,
listen
yeah.
to him and he's something else, man. He's an old timer, I assume, right?
Yeah. I think he's doing it 40 years.
Oh man, but he's still
Yeah.
funny, man. Because a lot of those guys after 40 years,
Mhm.
I don't think comedy carries over, man. I don't think it ages well. Like I don't like George Carlin. Like I
Yeah.
appreciate what he did. I appreciate like what all those guys did for comedy, but like Bill Hicks and all that, I don't find the humor in it. I mean,
You don't find the
do you
humor?
find yourself?
Yeah,
doing
I
it?
do. I find myself laughing at it. Bill Hicks is an odd one because it's not so much about the laugh with him.
Yeah,
But Carlin has cracked me up a couple of times.
and like Eddie
Pretty
Murphy
well.
and all those guys.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
still can laugh at that.
Yeah, I can still laugh at that. Is
Man,
it to the
I'm
level?
cynical, I guess.
Yeah, is it to the level of someone who's crushing it now? Not quite, but like I watched Pryor,
Yeah,
and I was thinking, what a shame it is that I'm not laughing at any of this because I've heard all these jokes stepped on and stolen
of course.
over the entirety
Maybe
of doing
that's it,
stand up.
man. I think that's it because obviously those guys, like they're the greats. They're
Yeah.
the best. I will never compare to that. But
Yeah.
I can watch it now, and I don't find any enjoyment in the old timers. But I can watch some new guy out of Ohio, and all of a sudden, I'm laughing my ass off. But
Yeah.
yeah, comedy's a weird thing, man. It's
Mhm.
absolutely a trip.
Yeah, George George Carlin, especially, I think there's something to be gained. I was thinking of doing a set at the theater because I'm so writing based that I'm trying to get into stage work and act outs on stage, because for a long time I've just been performing the bits. Basically go up and read my set.
I do the same thing. I'm struggling. I think you and I are in the same spot. So how do you attack that, man? Because I haven't figured it out yet.
Well, one of the things I was thinking of doing is doing George Carlin's 10 minutes on death. He has 10 minutes from George Carlin again, like his second special or whatever it is on HBO. But there's kind of two kinds of Carlin. When he's young, he's physical and does all this.
He was great when he was young.
Yeah, and then as he gets older, he becomes more like, people who breathe in and out should be shot. Fuck them. Fuck them.
You're absolutely right, man. No, yeah, he got a little crotchety as he aged.
But his younger stuff is, he has a bit that's so physical on the death and dying one, where he says, when you die, you get so many flowers. More flowers than you've ever gotten in your entire life. Too late. Like,
that's actually a really good Carlin.
Yeah, builds up and completely falls down. His expression his expressions are so big and broad. But I was like, maybe I should just learn that whole chunk and then have the host before me go on and pretend like it's some sort of theater piece. Like, here's Nyland Vigil performing George Carlin's 10 minutes from his special of 1975.
Like doing cover comedy.
Like some sort of, cover comedy, NPR.
Oh, that is funny. Yeah, cover comedy. That's actually something I don't think a lot of people are doing, man.
Right.
Like, you'd be like that Asian dude from Journey. Like, you'd just be out there making millions off of somebody else's shit.
Yeah, I would never do it at a show, but just to learn how to do that, how to be physical.
Yeah,
is
I can't do it, man.
Because I the way I write, it just doesn't lend itself.
But you have impressions. I mean, you just did a good Carlin. I can't do it, man. I can't bring myself to even attempt one.
Really?
But that whole performing thing is tough, man. And I think I've only been doing it for a handful of years now, but man, that's what I'm just realizing. It's like, oh, you can't just rely on jokes. You have to believe in what the fuck you're saying, at least a little bit. And then you also have to like have some emotion behind it, which carries over into the physical aspect. And not me, man. I just stand there with my hand in my pocket and just fucking, it's brutal. Yeah, it's been tough, man. It's been a tough couple months trying to figure out what to do with that stuff. When you figure it out, man, you let me know. I'll be there to see it. That'll be cool.
I was talking to Corey, and we both came up with this analogy of looking at your stage presence and your writing as almost like a video game character when you look at your stats.
Yeah.
Like what you're doing well in.
Of course, your ranking and all that,
Yeah, and your ranking. And I was like, wow, I'm sure I have no points in crowd work. Like, it's all been, I've just been putting points in writing and learning that over and over and over again.
You guys nail it, man. Corey, that fat fuck, he's so funny, man. He is fucking funny. He nails it. Speaking of funny, what the hell made you, and I know your listeners probably don't know about this, but you were I woke up on Twitter one day and I checked my goddamn Twitter, and all of a sudden I see a picture of me in the middle of, I think it was Jerusalem, maybe Mecca. Yeah. I don't know where the hell I was.
I Googled refugees in duress, and then whatever the first picture was.
What the fuck was that? So every time I wake up, people who are listening, every time I wake up not every time, but every like couple weeks for a while there, I'd wake up and I would find this fucking picture of me, just my face, like a Where's Waldo, in the middle of some it's pretty much the most fucked up Where's Waldo you can find, but just these weird situations. What was that about? Because I've never asked you about that. I know you're probably just bored and just like clicking around, but I know my picture is ridiculous.
I still have the picture saved on my desktop for whenever the moment strikes me and I'm bored. But it was just, I saw your profile picture, like your headshot or whatever it was, and you've just got this like nice, I'm here to sell you some dick pills.
Like an Allstate
smile.
guy.
Yeah, Allstate smile, and the background is completely white. So for me,
it's perfect.
Yeah, I worked in graphic design for a number of years, and as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, that's one click, and I can put him anywhere.
It's like a green screen. Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, like that makes more sense, man. But yeah, I laughed my ass off at that, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's always it's really easy to put in.
When you're not, so why are you making tables instead of graphic design?
I was doing it. I was making band merch for a long time when I was younger, but I fucked it up too much because it was before I was on medication and also sometime before I quit drinking as well. So I would have like a month where I would make bank and do a bunch of work and be killing it. But then eventually the depression is coming around, and now I have 20 T-shirts to design from different bands, and they're all mad because I'm not sending any of them.
Oh, sure. Were you manic?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Or just you start cycling back and forth and you can't focus. And when you're your own boss, it's impossible.
I have something very similar. When I was like 17 years old, man, there was a band in my town in Des Moines, Iowa, and they were getting pretty big. Their name was Mind Right, and they were friends of mine. And and I was trying to be like a band scene guy, but I built websites. And they were like, hey, will you build us a website? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And so they gave me all this stuff. They're waiting, and like they're motivated, and I'm all fucked up on drugs, drinking all the time. And I ended up like just dragging my heels on the thing. They ended up showing up to the house I was living in. The lead singer grabbed me by the throat and threw me into a wall while the rest of them were getting ready to fuck me up. And they're like, give us the website password. And like in 2005 or 2002, that's a weird argument to have. I just remember it's like, this is fucking so, give me the password. But yeah, I had the very same situation. I haven't built a website since.
So what is it? There's a bunch of people probably still angry at me.
That's good.
I'm sure I've moved around bands. So even if like they might, there's a possibility I could end up talking to someone that I screwed over just by laziness or depression.
I'm not gonna lie, you're making me nervous, like being on this podcast. Like this is not good, dude.
But all over the country as well, because I had a whole network I was working with. But
you were doing it for real?
Yeah. I was paying my bills doing graphic design on the computer, just drawing demons mostly.
Dude, it's so goddamn easy to do compared to building tables. Now you use your hands and like saws and shit. Like you're really doing it.
But I want to get back into it again because I can do it with a laptop on the road.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
When I'm on the road, I can still be pulling in money.
Yes, quite a bit of it.
I can go into any Starbucks and make enough.
So like you're one of the original people. Like, you're an old timer when it comes to like making graphics, like which is the new age. And you decided to go back to like the 1200s and make goddamn tables, like barn tables.
Right. But it does.
I have so many questions for you. It just doesn't even make sense. But that is awesome, man.
But it does pay a lot more. Building furniture, or painting a fence, or whatever. It can pay a lot more in a lot shorter time. But still. If I get back into it, because I'm kind of studying up on it again. If I get back into it, I'm definitely gonna have to make a fake name.
Oh yeah, you're gonna definitely have to have an alias. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, that's holy shit. Can you tell me any of the bands, or do you not want to announce it on the podcast?
I'm not sure if I could even.
Any of the ones that you didn't piss off? Did any of them make it?
Nah, not that I know of.
Are you a music guy?
Yeah. I played music.
Played or play?
Years. Huh?
Played or play?
Played. I still have music and I'll jam out and write songs occasionally, but it's just a big bank of music sitting on my computer that I've written. I haven't done anything with it in years.
What kind?
All kinds of stuff. Mostly like indie rock and whatnot is what I used to play a lot, and I still write those kinds of songs. I had a like EDM dance group with this one guy.
Oh, that's my wife's jam, dude. That is the best thing to get pussy ever, man.
Yeah. I had a group with a guy, and he's since gone on to continue it.
What did the guy do? Because my wife made me, when we were in Vegas, pay an absolute insane amount of money to go see a guy named Tiesto, and I've never heard of him. Oh, dude, it was the worst. $60 for 2 drinks. I'm asking for cocaine. And like, I didn't know that, like, I'm old, man. So when they're in Vegas, like, I was just like, do you have cocaine? Do you have cocaine? Apparently, like that, you're supposed to do something else. I don't know. But like, I was like, do you have drugs? I don't know, man. But like, it seemed like he had it pretty well handled. Like, there's one guy who does one thing, and then he even put it just like, and people talk about this, but he just kind of automated it and went away and like hung out with girls. So what did you have the second guy for?
We wrote the music together, and then he would kind of play synths and stuff over it, and I would sing. But that was fairly short-lived. But I still have all the programs and stuff, so if I get a song idea, I just plug it into the computer and save it for later.
Is this what I would do if I didn't drink all the goddamn time?
Yeah, you just find stuff to fill your time.
Jesus, maybe I should quit drinking, because that's really creative, man. Good for you.
Yeah. I heard Bill Burr on a podcast say you have no idea how long a year is until you quit drinking.
That's actually a very good point. He's probably my favorite comic. I don't
Mhm.
think I'm breaking any barriers there. But
I don't know who's
God,
crushing it harder right now.
have you ever heard of a guy named Nate Bargatze?
Yeah.
Dude, and he's clean.
Yeah.
One of the best people. If you're listening to this, go listen to Nate Bargatze. He's amazing.
I played his first album, Yelled At by a Clown,
So
for
good.
Chris, and he loved it, and he was like, "I'm glad you're here to show me new guys that are good, to weed out like the bullshit of the new guys that suck."
I bet that's right. I bet he doesn't listen to much comedy, really, does he? I mean, does Chris?
Yeah, not really.
I don't know why you would.
I play it constantly, all the time, just to study it.
Oh, dude, I've only been doing comedy like 3 years, maybe 4 years now, and I don't want to listen to comedy. Chris has been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah.
I can't believe he wants to hear a joke. Like, I would lose my goddamn mind, man. But yeah, Nate Bargatze and Kyle Kinane, those two are just, I think those are my top two, with Bill Burr thrown somewhere in there as well.
Yeah, they're both great to watch and doing something different. I was just talking to Tyler about for open micers. I was listening to an old bit by Patton Oswalt, and he describes this open mic he used to host when he started out. He said there were 3 kinds of open micers. There was people that were probably going to be something, and then there were people who were funny, but like, who gives a shit? And then there were wackos.
Just like the people off the street who are just like, hey, I'm here for the free drink.
Or the people that go up, bomb every time, been doing it for years. Like, that changed anything. They're like, maybe if I put on a wizard hat, this time it'll work. No.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of which, hey, what up, Frankie P? How you doing tonight, buddy? I know you're checking this out.
Yeah. So, but that struck me as when I was thinking about it more, I was like, yeah, I know a lot of people that are like funny, but who gives a shit? In a lineup of a bunch of open micers doing 5 minutes and 20 open micers, would they ever stick out? Like, if I was just watching it? Yeah.
Do you ever get worried that you're doing all this in Colorado Springs? Meaning there's no way out. You know what I mean?
Right.
What do you do?
That you could get trapped here?
No matter how good you are, how do you get out of this? Like, and
yeah.
I don't know.
And I've thought that too, because a bit more lately, because I started putting some serious roots in here to working on this theater and trying to make it a cool place to play, not just for comics, but for bands and stuff too.
Sure.
And start showing movies, but kind of trying to run this place to make it something.
Absolutely, man.
But now I've got a really deep root pulled down in the Springs that I have to keep thinking about this theater. Even when I'm on the road, I have to think about who's going to run it when I'm not here.
I didn't know you were doing all the booking for this, man, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Chris is pretty much just giving me some names, and I contact him.
Oh, absolutely, man. I think you'll do well with it. I just, do you guys have a liquor license by chance?
Nope, not yet.
We're looking at it. In the works?
Yeah, it's something in the works.
Gotcha, man. Because you could host like AA meetings and shit here, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, you could always do that. Those are packed, dude.
So, but it's a big route that no matter where I go from here, I'm going to have to think about it, because I'm putting in time. And I think over time, hopefully it'll pay dividends if I just kind of build this machine to run itself.
Oh, absolutely.
And I can go off and come back and put in as much time as I want to.
Well, I think the cool part is you're going to get contacts, man. I do a show at the Fine Arts Center, and like, I have to bring in people, and so I just bring them in, and then you just get contacts and people book you. And I guess it's probably like any other business, right? I mean, like, just like tables, like you just build a table, and then all of a sudden you get a referral and all that stuff. So it's the only reason I run a show, man. I don't give a shit about running a show. I just want to get put on other people's show.
Yeah. But for now, because of the availability I can make for myself by working for myself, I go on the road more often.
That is cool, man.
That's kind of a way out.
What did you think about Montana? I went after you did, by the way.
Yeah, I heard you guys did a lot better than we did.
We had a good showing of people, man, but it was all crowd work. Like, they did not give a shit about my jokes, man. They did not care.
I bombed pretty terribly, and Corey before me bombed up until he did this joke where he said he voted for Trump. Like,
just pandering.
Well, that's the thing, is the joke's a misdirection. That usually he says, I voted for Trump, and the audience goes like, boo, which he loves.
Oh yeah, of course.
And then he works it back to, saying that it was like voting for Hitler and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
whole thing brings it back around. But for these people, he said, I voted for Trump, and just applause break, like in Fairview, Montana.
Thank you. Good night.
Yeah.
Oh
And
man,
then it didn't matter what he said afterwards. They fucking loved him.
you're joking.
Nope.
You know what? I don't know why I say that because that does make sense. But
Yeah. But it completely saved him. They immediately liked him and all of his terrible shit.
oh god, that's funny.
And I went on after him and bombed. And really, I wasn't that prepared in hindsight.
Oh sure.
I thought I was, but I was getting something until about halfway through my set, and then it completely died. And I saw a bunch of people whispering to each other. And afterwards, this girl comes up to me and says, "You look exactly like the gay guy on Shameless." And I Googled it, and he's like a skinny redheaded kid. We look nothing alike.
That sounds about yeah.
But-
all this is lining up with my
Yeah.
experience. But
But she said, halfway through, I realized exactly who you look like. You look like the gay guy on Shameless. So I started telling my family. And then they started telling people in the crowd. And I was like, oh, so by the time it moved to the back of the room, it was just all these people whispering, he's a gay guy.
like the worst game of telephone ever.
Yeah,
You know, I realized that I have to apologize. I forgot I asked you about that before. I've heard the story.
Oh, really?
And I just made you tell about a shit set. Sorry about
That's
that.
fine.
Man. Well, you guys
That's
had me
funny.
fucking nervous, man. 'Cause that was the first time I've ever performed outside of state on a booked gig.
Really?
And you guys had already been up there, and everybody was just like, yeah, it didn't go well. Like, oh, god damn, I'm driving 12 hours to eat a bag of dicks and turn around. It's like, what's his name right now, driving out to Pueblo for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I went up there, man, and it was packed, though. I mean, the place was
Yeah.
absolutely packed. And, like, I looked at him. I saw a lot of jeans, a lot of boots, like.
A lot of curved brim hats.
Yeah, I knew what to kind of avoid. After seeing your set, I can't imagine you having anything. Like, you don't have Cleveland Browns jokes. Like, you don't have the equivalent of something like, here's something just like dirt. Like,
both Corey and I were bombing talking about Instagram. They hadn't gotten it down there yet. I don't know if they have the internet.
They're like, you can find out more at keyword whatever, like some AOL shit. Yeah, absolutely.
I had a bit where I was talking about Facebook or something that was just bombing, and then at the end I was like, do you guys have the internet here? Like, has it made it up here yet?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, in 10 years when you get the internet, you'll look up Facebook. It'll be great. You'll get this joke.
You guys are going to love this shit.
And then later I did a bit where the punchline was when Mercury's in retrograde.
Yeah.
And everyone's still staring at me. It was like, do you guys have planets here? Like, do you guys have other planets? Or is it just Fairview, Montana? Is that why no one's left? Because it's like the forbidden zone for miles in every direction.
Ungoddamn believable, man.
But
where else have you been going then, outside of Montana? I don't want to shit on them because we can talk off air, but like it was I had a good time. That's probably the best that I've ever had in my life. Out there. I had some old goddamn Korean War vet who was like talking shit to me about people dying, like in his family and all that. Like it got really weird, but somehow I made it work, and so they're a good crowd. Yeah,
crowd work would have made the difference had I known that trick.
I don't understand how you can't do it because you're really good at crowd work. Like when it comes to talking to people.
It's
what's your struggle when it like you're real quick when you're quick-witted? Why didn't you do it on stage?
Yeah, well, when it comes, I don't know. I'm just learning how to take that to the stage. When it comes naturally, when I've been doing a set and something comes up, I'm able to just jump right into it. When I'm trying to unorganically force it and make it happen as a thing, I just struggle with it. So I've been working out a lot of kinks just because I'm so used to going up with prepared material in my head.
Yeah.
Or on a set, I always know the beats of it, where it's going to get laughs. So trying to find a laugh in something quickly is what I'm trying to learn. It's just a skill I haven't worked on at all until recently.
I just don't. I've worked on it. I just don't have it, man. That's a tough one. I can see why they say it takes 10 years to become good at this. Because I remember, man, when I first started, I was like, oh, I'm getting great. Oh, I'm rising through the ranks here. And then I'm just like, oh, my whole thing has just been a fucking farce. And now I need to figure out how to redo comedy, man. I can't do this for 20 years. I don't want to be that comic who glazes over and then they just, spew out their goddamn jokes and they get off stage and take their money. Like, if you're going to do it, you might as well give a fuck about what you're saying and be able to interact with people. And that's so fucking tough to do.
You know that Cheetos joke Chris has?
Yes, it's amazing.
I was talking to him about that joke and he says, I haven't heard that joke in 20 years. It's like, I have to do it every set, but I haven't heard my own joke in about 20 years because as soon as I start it by the first word. I'm in my head thinking about what I'm gonna eat later. Like it's so just second nature.
But he has to say it. It's one of the most famous jokes I've maybe like.
Yeah.
People have stolen that joke and just regurgitated it, but that's his.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, man.
That's his. So, yeah, it is like, I'm so in my head for that bit because it's one I've been doing for 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
It takes over. I'm not present.
If I'm that guy,
all.
Dude, I'm serious. I can see how comedians shoot themselves. Like, I can see how suicide is high. Like, if you're just glazing over and saying that to a bunch of,
If you're not showing up, when are you present if you're on the road?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you're in a hotel room
Pretty
jerking off to porn.
Man.
Then you get up on stage and you're not present.
I know, right? So where else have you traveled to? You're saying you've been on the road quite a bit. Like, what have you been doing?
We did North Dakota after we did Fairview.
Yeah.
And then
which is literally, folks, a block away. North Dakota's no joke, a block away from the venue in Fairview.
Yeah. By the way, when we were done with the gig, Corey was outside Googling Fairview on his phone, and he said the population of the city is 800. He's like, we just played. He's like 10. He said 10% of Fairview, Montana, now knows you suck.
That is a very, very good point. I won't forget, man, when I pulled up to Tyler's mic outside of it. I was like, "How was Montana?" And he goes, like, Corey goes, "Nyland sucked, but I did amazing." And I just laughed my ass off. Like, he yelled it so you could hear it. He's just, Nyland sucked. I was like, "Oh, that is perfect, man." Yeah, you guys had me gunshot, but you go outside of the state? Like,
yeah.
Good
what
for
is it?
you,
I
man.
did some Texas, San Antonio, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I need to start going back out and like get myself known here, like in the spring. So, so you're just going to these towns and performing, and then
pretty much. Most of it is Chris will give me a place of where to book, and it's for the most part been paying dues kind of shit show, but at the same time it's fun to travel and just go out of state to do.
I 100% agree, and I think like the little small towns are like, I don't know if San Antonio would count as a small town, but like some of these other like little places in Texas, I bet you could find these small towns, and they love it because nobody goes to them, and so you can just perform. But how was like San Antonio? You went there, and like how were you received there?
I had a really good time there and met a bunch of really cool comics that I got to meet, and Chris used to live there as well, so I kind of had an in with everybody.
Sure.
Like especially the guys that have performed with him before.
Yeah.
They're like, how is he? But hanging out with those guys is awesome. But I was able to make enough contacts there that like I'm going back there 3 more times.
You son of a bitch.
In the next couple months.
That is awesome, dude. Holy crap.
But I'm saving up for a van that I can drive long distances with.
That is the most white trash thing I've ever heard in my life. That sounds exactly what somebody who makes tables would say.
Yeah, exactly.
Saving up for a van.
But like when if I'm getting $50 for a show or whatnot, like I can put that in my pocket and just sleep in the van. Like it's,
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
So
it's about to fucking give you a whole bunch of shit about gas mileage. But, all right.
But it's and I mean the vans I'm looking at will have better gas mileage than my truck anyway, which I'll drive to Denver and cost me a penny. So once I get that, I'll have like a way to really get around.
Sure.
Because now I'm kind of relying on other people and rides a little bit to go farther than my truck because it has so many problems that come up so often that
I bet, man.
I don't want to take it out of state and be on the interstate somewhere with it broken down.
Get the material out of it, but that's about it.
Right. So there's other places I can book that once I get this thing, I'm excited to. I have some contacts in Santa Fe, so I'm gonna try and use that to project myself down to Albuquerque.
That'd be pretty awesome, man. Have you performed in Santa Fe?
I did.
I was there, but they didn't have the club shut down.
Yeah. When I was there, they didn't have a club, but I should have known it wasn't a good idea because I have some family there too. So I also have a way I can stay with somebody. But I looked up an open mic and I was like, oh, there's one tonight, and the poster for it said, what is it? Musicians, comedians, poetry, comedy. And I was like, oh, it says it twice. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't comedians go up there?
Yeah.
And I get up stage and this band had played before me. and I guess the host was also one of the band members, and it's just the band and me, and it's in a restaurant.
You follow some like ska band or what the fuck's going on there?
It's country band.
Perfect.
And it's in a restaurant, and the restaurant's doing well. So there's a bunch of people in there. There's a full audience, and no one was under 50. And this band plays, and then the guy goes, what is it? All right, I guess this guy's a comedian. Never had one of those here before. Everyone, Nigel Vigil.
Yeah,
and then,
perfect.
And then they just start tearing down behind me. And I was like, would you guys mind giving me a minute to do? He's like, no, we got to load up.
Oh, my.
Tearing
That's
down.
perfect, man. But you have to have those sets.
Yeah.
At least you gave it a shot, man.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
On a stage the size of this table with 3 other dudes tearing down equipment behind me. And just a nightmare, because I started out with like everyone in this state has such giant hats compared to even cowboy hats in Denver. I was like, do the hats just get bigger the more you go south?
Yeah.
Till you get to Mexico with the
I
sombreros.
bet they hated you.
Yeah. One guy yelled at me, "Don't talk about my hat!" Like a giant hat.
Of course,
He's always like, "Don't talk about my hat."
Oh my God, man!
And I should have gone into it, but I just froze up because I wasn't expecting someone like, "Oh, you have all your masculinity and security in your hat." I didn't realize that was a touchy subject.
No shit, right? Wade Ridley, when I was, do you know Wade? He just moved back from Louisville. He's one of the first people to really start. I don't know. The first guy who got me into comedy anyway, but he's from Pueblo. And so we were down at Seraph Fest, which we talked about earlier. After the metal band, he goes up there and the band, like, so I already ate shit. I'm completely done. And Tom Hanks' jokes failed. And we have Wade go up, man, and he's doing his set, and they're tearing down the stage, the band behind him. It's the exact same situation except thrash. Yeah. And so they ended up, they're tearing everything down. They pull a plug, a cable, and Wade Ridley just topples over and eats shit on stage, man. But it's like, bands and comedy do not work. But the funniest thing I've seen all night, man, to watch a comic literally fall down and try to recover is the greatest thing ever. You can't come back. You're done. You've lost all credibility, man.
Well, these shows I can book in Santa Fe and in New Mexico. It's a cousin I got who's in a metal band down there, and he knows all the DIY places and some of the bars that book metal bands. And so when I was down there before, I was talking to bar owners and some of the people he introduced me to, and they were like, I talked to this one guy, punk dude, owns this bar that's underground. And I was like, hey, I'd like to try and do stand-up here. I performed with some punk bands in the past and whatnot. Like once or twice I've done that, but I tried to make it sound like this is something I do all the time.
Yeah. You got to leverage.
Like I can be on one of these shows, and he goes, I don't think we've never had a comedian down here. I'm not sure if anyone's ever laughed here.
That is awesome, man.
It's a dingy underground bar where they only play death metal.
Dude, I think you give it a shot. I got it. Like, you ever do the DIY place here, Flux Capacitor?
Not stand up, but I played music there before.
Yeah, I used to do comedy there quite a bit, man. Like they are really receptive. Like I thought it was funny, man. Like I like to go up there because it's all the liberal people who go there, and I'm liberal. I'm very liberal, but I just don't give a shit. And so I'm just like, I go up there. It's like I was told not to say faggot. Can I say faggot? And like they just all see. But then I try to bring them back. I think that ebb and flow is a lot of fun. But other than that, man, like punk bars, I think I've had a great time at those, man. That whole DIY scene is about as good as it gets for an audience, man. Because I think they know what they're trying to support, and they're like, just don't close the place down, and like everybody has a pretty good time with it. But
exactly.
Could be worse.
Yeah, so before I go do that, I'm trying to figure out the best way to make sure that works. And it's that, like, one thing that came up that was super important when I was talking to my buddy. He was like, you have to do some research to find a metal band that everyone kind of unanimously likes, which is near impossible. He's like, because metalheads are actually some of the biggest snobs. Like, this sucks, that doesn't.
Would Pantera fit the criteria, or Slayer, like the thrash ones?
Yeah, well, even that, some guys would be like, he doesn't really know metal. Like, he knows the oldies, like the greats, but like Pantera is oldies in metal.
Yeah, but Phil Anselmo.
Yeah, so like I got So he was telling me, he's like, one of the new genres that's really good right now is called power violence.
So that's a genre of metal.
Yeah, he's
I'm
like
the oldest fuck on the planet, man.
he's like power violence metal. It's a combination.
Sounds like hardcore and thrash kind of thing.
He says it's a combination of sludge and crust punk.
Dude, yeah, out of my element. I never got into punk, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you a punk guy?
I can enjoy it. Yeah,
sure.
I've gotten into it before.
I just don't get it, man. I don't get it. I don't understand the draw to it, but apparently it is huge because 90% of the shows I'm on happen to be in punk bars.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks, et cetera, et cetera. Like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, it's just music that's
You could be like JT Habersat,
Yeah.
like the guy who goes around and performs for punk bars.
mhm.
Have you ever thought about branding your comedy as such, like just being like
Yeah.
the punk comedian or something like
Yeah.
that? Or
I've thought before that if I could figure out how to do it and get good at it, it'd always be good to go to because there's so many DIY punk bars
oh yeah,
all over the country that I could work my way onto.
Dude, I'm gonna latch myself onto you. I'm gonna be like, I'll be your opener, man. Let's just go out there and fucking let's go out there and make this shit happen. That would be amazing. Do you go out with Corey quite a bit?
Yeah, we've gone out with Corey a number of times, and he's always just fun to hang out with on the road.
Oh, he is. Yeah.
When we did a gig, actually it was in Fairview, Montana, and I was sitting at the bar in my head about my set, so I wasn't fully paying attention at the time, but Corey was trying to hit on the one girl that was somewhat age appropriate, well, like 50 in there, and she was 17. No, 8. Yeah, 17. She was 17 years old, pregnant girl who lived in a barn.
Can't get her pregnant.
Yeah, can't get her pregnant. And she said she was turning 18 in like whatever
7
it was,
minutes.
like 19 hours or whatever it was.
Yes.
And so Corey is hitting on her to try and make me laugh, like just to fuck with me.
Oh, that is awesome, man. Good for him.
The whole time. So he's a blast to be on the road with. Where he got in my face afterwards because she left, and he was like, "You're a terrible fucking wingman." And I was like, "Sorry, man. I was in my head about my set, trying to figure it out, and you're trying to get me to wingman for this pregnant 17." It's like, and by the way, how dare you trying to fuck a minor?
Yeah,
and,
no shit. Right besides,
and he goes, "Dude, we're in Montana. Like, age is irrelevant. Plus, she turns 18 in like 10 hours. I can hold a load that long. If I don't bust a nut for 10 hours, it does. If she's legal,
dude,
you know."
in that small town, it'll take like the nearest cops 12 hours away. Like,
Right.
You're good to go, man.
Yeah, and he's going on about this, and I was like, "What about the fact that she lives in a barn?" He's like, "That's just regular Montana shit, bro."
All of a sudden, Flat Bill Corey is like an expert on Montana, dude.
He wore me down to the part where he's like, "Point is, you're a shitty wingman." And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm sorry about that." And he goes, Are you apologizing for not helping me fuck a minor? He's like, "Well, right back to it."
I can see how this would cover 12 hours of driving back to Colorado.
Oh,
that is fucking. How do you even enjoy comedy, man? Like going to bars and I can deal with not drinking, like if I'm at home and not doing shit. But if I'm sitting in a bar, dude, I am doing anything that is in front of me. How do you do it and just sit there for like if you have an early show and a late show and you're just sitting there? Like, what do you do? Because I would not find enjoyment in that, especially at the early stage where I am, where I only get 15 minutes a spot each show. Like, what do you do? And how do you enjoy it?
For the most part, I mean, I'll work on writing or sometimes bring something else. Like I brought a book before a couple of times, just past time. But for the most part, you can meet
goddamn books.
Yeah. For the most part, you can meet comics and hang out, talk.
But do you really care what they have to say?
Not all the time, but sometimes, just hanging out with funny people is always fun. Even if I'm not drinking, hanging out with funny people in a green room is always a blast for me.
I always have a bad time with it because it seems like everybody's doing like a dick measuring contest or somebody's up next, and you can't just laugh and hang out and have fun. Like you have to somebody's on like ready to. I don't know. Right. The posturing of it really is annoying to me for some reason.
And I think I've been lucky enough that I'm, when I'm on the road, I'm only like taking people I know. So like if I'm on the road, I'm with Corey or with Chris. So
Sure.
I always got someone to be like, this guy's a fucking idiot, right?
Yeah,
Like-
that's cool. Yeah, because if you don't know them at first, you have to be kind of like,
Right.
oh, I don't know if they're friends. Like, oh, this guy's great, right?
Mhm.
Well, maybe not so much. And then
And
you
every
gotta
once in a
show.
while, if I'm by myself, I'm gonna go stand outside and chain smoke and work on bits. If
Just
I got
smoking,
nothing else to
that's
do.
it.
Pretty much.
Okay, good. At least you
Order
have
another
something you have
Red
to
Bull
do.
and yeah.
Oh, energy drinks. Oh, you're big into energy drinks?
Yeah.
Mm,
Caffeine's
wow.
a big one.
That's good, man.
Caffeine's a
Yeah.
big one for me.
I take Adderall. I'm big into
Mhm.
Adderall. Take that every day. I switched over to a thing called Vyvanse, which is like all day Adderall. But like uppers, man. I haven't really met a drug that I don't like. I don't know.
I'm not much for downers, and meth was a bummer for me when I did it, but like I like uppers.
I never tried meth intentionally, but I think one time I took ecstasy
Yeah.
at a. I don't know if you can like eat or meth,
Mhm.
but I think I did, and then it was all just eyeball stuff. Like it wasn't fun. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
feel anything, but I stayed up all the time. So I'm pretty sure it was just a bunch of speed. But
Yeah, it's just cut with tons of speed.
yeah.
probably.
I don't know. Like I'm too old to be doing drugs, but at the same time, man, it is so it's so fun when you do it. And I think I learn more now when I'm older from the come down from hard
Mhm.
drugs. I really enjoy it because I just go through this awful period for about 12 hours where it's just not fun.
Yeah.
And then I think I get a lot of writing done on that.
Mhm.
I don't like the ups and downs, but you don't miss that. You like being on the level. Or were your
Yeah,
ups and
for the
downs
most
not
part.
like mine? Were yours kind of?
Yeah, I like like I said with the workaholic thing, I like being able to I guess I kind of make everything a challenge. Like I started doing a podcast when I watch movies as
Sure.
well.
Yeah.
I just started trying to figure out how to do that. And the girl I started seeing was like, "Can you just enjoy something without making it work and trying to monetize it? Like,
Good for
can you
you,
just do
man.
something?" But to an extent, I mean, I did plenty of drugs, so
Sure.
I have enough experiences that I'm like, yeah, I kind of know what that's like, and I know like
But it was a phase, and like you kind
right.
of got over it. And now you're into
Right.
the
well, like I did acid every weekend for almost a year.
sure.
A whole year, and I stopped doing it because I had like the last trip I had was like just going about my day.
Oh,
like
you were
it-
just like going to the grocery
Yeah.
store and like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it was boring. Whereas like
Holy
I guess
shit,
I'll go
man.
to the grocery store and like I'm in the grocery store, like pick up a can and it melts and I'm like I know it's still there. And I put it in the
Yeah, you're right. I guess it has lost its luster.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of acid. Last time I took it was on 9/11, and I, like B9/11. That's how old I am. And yeah, I thought that was a good idea. Not so much. And I only had FM radio down in my basement, and so I was listening to the oldies channel
Yeah.
just because I came home and like I came home before I even started tripping. I talked to my dad,
Yeah.
and then I was like, all right, I'm gonna go downstairs, like trying to rush out of the conversation.
Mhm.
I had FM radio listening to oldies channel, and I was like, all right, I'll just fucking listen to some oldies. They weren't
Yeah.
playing oldies; they were playing 9/11 highlights kind of things. You know what I mean? Where they're talking about what happened
Yeah.
on the oldies channel. It was just not a good time, and I haven't taken it since. But yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Part of me like just I think drugs are pretty amazing, but at the same time, I'm
Mhm.
not. I don't have any podcasts. I have 0 podcasts,
Yeah.
and I don't write jokes very well when I'm doing drugs. I guess maybe
Mhm.
I should start following your mold, man, and seeing how
Mhm.
to do that. But it's a tough one.
Right. Yeah, I've been able to do a lot more, and also I enjoy a lot more outside of drugs. Like
Really?
like I don't know, it's kind of just all around life is more enjoyable. to
How
an
long does that
extent.
take to kick in, man? Because I took 30 days off of everything,
Yeah,
off
it-
absolutely everything. You know what? Worst 30 days of my life. It was awful.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the time with anything. I could go work out, and that was fine. But like, what do you? How the fuck did that happen? Like, how did you enjoy? When did life become more enjoyable for you?
Mhm. I think it took about a year.
Oh, you
Or
can go
so.
fuck yourself.
A
I don't have
year.
that kind of time.
Yeah, it took about a year, but I also I quit drinking at like rock fucking bottom.
Sure.
So it also like took a year just to kind of put my life back together and have some sort of stability
Sure.
to an extent. So
What was the? Have you talked about it on the show before?
yeah, I've talked about it on the show.
Okay, I won't make
both
you
Chris
repeat
and
it then.
I. No, it's no problem. But like I was living with my best friend since the 2nd grade, and I'd been dating this girl seriously to like the point where we were kind of talking about getting engaged and whatnot.
Sure.
And what is it? And I'd been doing drugs for a while, but I'd kind of given them up to a certain extent at that point, because it was getting too intense. So I was like backing off a ways, and I was like, well, I'll just let myself still drink, but I hadn't turned 21 yet. So I was still like, it was an occasional thing, and I'd go too hard, but occasionally.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I turned 21, it was every night drinking problem.
Oh, yeah. That's where I am now, but it's been like 10, 15 years, but yeah.
Yeah. But what is it? She left me. My best friend packed up his shit in the middle of the night and bounced without saying
you're talking
anything.
about like drinking like blackout.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Like I'm drinking. I lost 3 months one time that I blacked out. I blacked out for 3 straight months.
You have to talk about that.
And woke
on
up with
stage,
no
dude.
job. Yeah.
Oh my God. That is
Yeah.
so fucking funny, man.
And so what is it?
I mean,
But
now
I
that
was-
you're fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Now that I'm fine. But one thing I've talked about before on stage is I used to play a game with myself in order to keep drinking interesting. That I would get off work, and I was working at a grocery store, and I'd go next door to the liquor store, and I'd get like a pint or a fifth of something McCormick's.
Yeah. The
And
good stuff.
I would start chugging that on the way to my car, and then in my car as I would be driving home, because my commute was about 10 to 15 minutes. So I would chug that and then throw it out my window and try and make it home before it kicked in.
Oh
So
my
it
gosh.
was
Pretty
a
goddamn
crazy
metal,
rush.
dude. That's a Lemmy
Yeah.
thing to do. Like that is.
It was a complete rush more than anything else, because like, you know how long the lights are here?
Yo, they take forever. Yeah.
They take forever. Now imagine your brain's gonna become mush in like 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. I got you. We're on different levels here. Yeah. I drink every day, but like,
Yeah.
I remember when I go to bed. So I think that's
Yeah.
holy
So I was
shit.
drinking really hard, to the point where I like, but if you make it home in time
Yeah.
and like you park on the lawn and roll out of your car, it fucking feels divine. It's amazing. Like
That
I
is
made it.
crazy, man. I'm just
Such a
always
rush of
fascinated,
endorphins.
especially somebody as young as you who found
Mhm.
out how to quit and just.
Yeah.
You're gonna make it far because you figured out how to just
Mhm.
become a workaholic.
Yeah.
I hate
And-
work. It's the worst.
And I kind of enjoy it, but also everything I do that's work is something I also kind of enjoy.
Sure.
Like the
You're not in a
the game of it.
cubicle
Yeah.
doing the whole. Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, that would probably crush me.
Oh, it does.
Mhm.
Trust me. Holy shit, man. Well, yeah,
So-
this is a bummer to talk about. I shouldn't have brought it this way.
Oh,
but,
no worries.
God damn. Yeah,
But-
that's really insane, man.
Yeah. But like when I quit drinking, I was 70 pounds heavier than I am now. I'd gained 100 pounds over the course of a year drinking. And so it took me, almost a year to kind of get back to normal and also see some real positive benefits just to
Yeah.
work back up to normal. Took
Yeah.
me about a
You don't
year.
have anything that makes you like there's never a drawback to it, like, fuck it, that looks pretty good or anything like that?
Yeah, not anymore. At first, yeah, but to a certain point, like Marco was asking me, he's like, I just don't think I could never have a drink again.
Yeah.
And when I first quit, I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna give it a year off that I'm not gonna drink. I'm gonna try and make it a whole year. And by a year was over, I was like, I did a whole year. I should just keep going. And then around the 2-year mark, which was like a month or two ago, Marco asked me, he's like, I don't think I could just never drink again. And I was like, you know what? I don't miss it. For as much as like my life revolved around it, as much as I loved it, I don't miss it now.
Yeah. By then you had replaced all your friends groups and all
Yeah.
that thing. Like, yeah.
With much better people
oh, I'm
too
sure.
now.
Well, dude, bullshit. Tyler
Yeah.
James was in here when I walked
Yeah,
in.
And yeah, it's still an upgrade from the meth addicts I was hanging out
That's
with.
actually a good point.
Yeah. So
Just joking, Tyler.
so yeah, because it's like I have all this time back and I'm not losing money drinking and I'm
That
not
is
getting
a
in
huge one.
fights anymore. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Never.
It takes $20 to get a buzz. Like going just to get something rolling.
Good for you, man. Yeah, I'm more jealous than anything. Like, I always get jealous of people who are sober because I'm like, and then I try to pawn it off like, fuck them. But it's really insane that you can actually do it, man. That's good for you. I've tried a handful of times, man. It doesn't work out too well.
Yeah.
But I didn't know I was an alcoholic until like I was 25 years old when I found out that everybody in my biological family being adopted was adopted. So I'm like, Jesus Christ, no wonder. You know, that's a weird thing to go through. Were people in your family like?
Oh yeah. Oh,
so you got a fucked up family too?
Mm-hmm.
That is crazy, man. Like when it comes to like that kind of stuff, substance abuse.
To the point of so I had like a 2 or 3 years good run with alcoholism specifically.
Yeah. Which isn't that long, honestly.
Isn't that long?
Yeah, you're doing all right.
What is it? When you're younger, it can be a long time. Seems like it. But
well, yeah, I guess.
You know, like when you're
proportionally
right, when you're like 18 to 22, or whatever, it's a very crucial point.
It's a 6 of your life or whatever it was.
To be fucking up. But at the same time, so when I originally quit, I was like, man, I fucked some really crucial years up.
Yes.
By being an alcoholic. And my uncle was like, by the way, you know, you're the only one to quit before 60. Like the next person in our family who was ever able to quit was 60, and it's because the hospital made him stop.
Oh my God, man. Yeah, I got I was going to get this big dumb Norwegian tattoo on my back, and I've always known I'm adopted, but I was going to get he's like, yeah, you're Norwegian. I've heard that my whole life. And so I was like, hey, Dad, you know, I was in the military. I was like, I'm going to get this big tattoo on my back, and he didn't. He's like, well, don't do it, but hold on here real quick. Let me go to the lockbox at the bank and, you know, give you this piece of paper. And so he sends it to me. And turns out I'm 75% Irish. And everybody in my family, like I go down this list. It's only like 2 pages long, but it's like, your uncle died from cirrhosis, and everybody in your family is dead from liver shit. And I was just like, Dad, this would have been really great like 5 years ago to have in my pocket. But, yeah, that's how it goes, man. But it's pretty funny. At least I didn't get the goddamn tattoo.
Right. Yeah, 75%.
I know. I was like, oh, fuck me. That makes a lot more sense.
I'm on, I'm like 50% Hispanic in some form or another.
Oh,
yeah. It's ridiculous because I don't get it. I'm like a white guy without a country, really.
Yeah.
So like, what kind of white are you? Like Mexican? Like,
yes. Yeah, you really can't pass for anything though. Like, I guess you kind of.
But the rest of my family is real dark except for my dad. But my brother's really dark. My mom's really dark.
No shit.
But I just got like the crazy recessive French gene apparently.
Oh, dude, you lucky
I got a French grandma.
Dude. Seriously, that pays off like endlessly. That is good.
But
do you talk about that on stage?
Not yet. I've been trying to write something about having perspective on race in general.
Oh yeah.
About how when I went to Mexico, I traveled there for a little bit, and I noticed that I'm just white. Like,
oh yeah.
There's no claiming that. In fact, I'm American there. It's like the only time I've ever been American is in another country, and you're just completely.
Funny, man. No, I think you'll get some good bits off of that. That's fucking amazing. But to have like dark brothers and be natural born, that's crazy.
But I came back here and I was looking at it, and I said, I think there's really only 4 races in America that people give a shit about, and it's just based on what you look like. It has nothing, no cultural. It's like
I completely agree.
Yeah, it's like white. It's like white, black, Mexican if you're brown. And then there's like not Mexican, might be ISIS is the last one that people are worried about.
That is a very, very good point.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm one of those guys. Like, I move over in the middle of the night, that whole sidewalk thing. Like, I don't know. I guess I'm a little risk averse. But that's cool. So is it Vigil or Vigil for you?
It's Vigil for me. Because my grandpa changed his name so it would sound whiter, so he could get a job in the 70s.
It's fucking crazy talk, man. For real?
Mm-hmm. It was Carlos Vigil, and he changed it to Charlie Vigil.
Oh, I was gonna say Carlos Vigil. I was like, yeah, perfect. That worked out great, man.
Yeah, but it worked apparently immediately.
For real?
Is he kept getting jobs turned down, and then he got a job at a vocational school as a teacher.
I'm trying to picture a fucking Mexican guy saying Charlie, like appropriately.
Yeah.
Like, my name is Charlie. I don't know how to do accents. I already told you that, but God damn, good for him, man.
Over the phone, and it worked.
Kind of scary that you have to do that.
Right.
Kind of sad, but
Yeah, I've had a guy before tell me, it was like, so why's your name? Why do you still hold on to that name? It was like, because my grandpa was like, man, the 70s was racist. Never forget. Like,
Yeah, right? Oh,
keep the
God.
family name that way. And he was like, 70s wasn't racist. And I was like, yeah, so my name's fucked up for no reason? Just.
Oh, my God, dude. Yeah, I had no idea. I thought you were white, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have come on this podcast had I known. Like, I would have fucking not even come here a bit, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I got a Norwegian grandma too. But like when I go hang out with my family,
Yeah.
on my father's side, they're all Spanish, and on my mother's side, they're Mexican.
Yeah.
Same
thing.
Yeah. But that's the
I'm
thing
white.
is,
It
I
was
go,
all the same.
yeah. That's what I mean. Is there's like brown, which is Mexican. Like,
100%. Yeah.
I'm Puerto Rican, and like to Trump supporters, you're Mexican. By the way,
100% you are.
you're just
Yeah.
brown, not ISIS. So
Absolutely true, man. For real.
Just Mexican.
Brown may be ISIS or not yet
Yeah.
ISIS. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a curlier turban.
Sorry to make
Mexican
this like a
to
heavy
those people.
conversation. I'm really
No,
bad,
I
dude,
think
at
it's
talking
interesting.
about lighthearted shit. I hate small talk more than anything. I always
me
want
too.
to talk like I don't like to talk about even just a joke. Like I like jokes around something serious because I don't like. I get really bored, man, of talking about just the small talk's the worst, man. I work at a company, I have to do it.
Oh yeah.
I won't do it, man. I will not do it. I just want to talk about something serious, and then you make jokes around the edges of that, and I think it's fun. But I don't know if your listeners enjoy heavy stuff.
I'm sure. I mean, we talk plenty. But yeah, I can't stand small talk. Even the slide, it pisses me off so much so that like when it comes up, I'll just divert the conversation.
Oh yeah. And that's what comedy's become to me is small talk.
Yeah.
And I realize my whole set is small talk. I don't believe in what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a shit. I've been telling the same shit over and over. Like, I want to figure out how you go in there and just say what you want. But every time I try it, I get struck down because I'm a host and you can't go up there and do it. So I'm stuck in this weird goddamn area, man.
Yeah.
Like, you're young. You got youth on your side. I'm in my 30s, dude. I got to fucking figure this shit out quick.
Yeah. What is it? I remember I walked into an elevator once and this lady walked in and we're standing in the elevator going up for, I don't know, 20 seconds, but in silence with elevator music, it's an hour.
It's the worst.
And she was like, weather's pretty crazy. And I said, my dick itches.
My
My dick itches and it's red.
Did you really say that?
And then it was just silent for the rest of the way, but I was like, at least I don't know where this conversation would have gone.
I know, but it's the best. I love that awkwardness. And
Yeah.
like, if somebody does that to me, I love it. I think
Yeah,
I do, but I don't know. I was stuck on an elevator in a hospital once, and I was going upstairs, and there was a pregnant lady in there. We didn't get stuck, but it's just a slow-moving elevator, and we both kind of could feel the tension on that. And then I was just like, I hope you're not expecting a hero.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a big germ guy. Like, I don't remember exactly what I said, but makes people awkward and they don't like it because if you don't follow the small talk rules, people feel really awkward. And I thrive on that.
Yeah.
I love to make people feel a little bit, especially strangers. Like
edge.
if it's a boss or something like that,
Yeah.
I won't do that. But if it's somebody I know I'll never see again, I thrive. I feed on making somebody just putting them out of their element because small talk keeps people happy. But if you can throw them out of theirs, it's the best feeling in the world, man.
Corey, what is it? Is the manager at his job.
Sure.
At a fast food place. So he's like that all the time. He talks to his employees like that.
That is so awesome.
It's fucking crazy.
I love that guy.
But we were hanging out outside, and he was like, I did this bit that was pretty racist, but like, or no, he was saying this chick got offended at one of his jokes, and he was like, by far, that's my cleanest joke. She was upset, and he was like, you should stick around because it gets so much worse than that.
He did this at his work?
No,
Oh, this is
just at a set.
Oh, yeah.
But I wanted to say that he talks like that. He's Corey all the time.
I know.
Even at his work.
I first met the fuck, and he was outside of the downtown bar, and like, this is back when I was still going to open mics, and I would show up, and like, people would come and go, man, and nobody would actually show up, and like, you'd never see him again. But he came over all nice and happy, and wanted to talk to people, and I was just like, fuck this fat fuck, man. He doesn't. I'll never see him again. But dude, he's one of my favorite people I see in the scene. Like, he is just. He's
my favorite to watch because I don't know what the fuck he's gonna do.
I don't think he does. He is so funny, man. The guy cracks me up.
He doesn't give a shit about someone trying to fight him in the parking lot after.
Oh,
does not care.
Have you had that happen?
No. what is it? But I'm even like, there's stuff he says I would never go up and do his set.
No. Oh, no.
It's a nightmare.
No,
but
he gets laughs off because he's
yeah.
just lovable with
Yeah.
it. Like he's,
and confident, doesn't care or like feel
No.
things, I guess.
if
But
it eats shit, he doesn't care.
yeah, I was like, I would never go up and do your jokes. I would be in the parking lot fighting.
Dude, yours are
Almost
no
immediately.
cleaner by any means.
Mine
though.
are no cleaner, but they're very different in
True.
certain ways. That
No,
like
I get that.
he tackles like racism and rape, and like I'll tackle mental illness.
That's a good
you
point.
know?
No, I'll give you that.
Like my jokes are jarring, but for the most part I've stuck away from the really touchy topics unless
Yeah.
I have something good or I've researched it a little bit.
It was you too, man. Who? Because for a while there, I was getting kind of cocky. I think I thought I was just like king shit around here for a while, and I was like, I'm just kicking ass. Nobody's gonna touch me. But it was both of you guys at Gold Camp one night. I went up there and I just kind of ate shit. You know, I mean, it's happened a lot, and it'll
phoned
happen
it
again.
in and
Yeah, I just went up there and did it, and like I got some laughs, and I was like, all right, fine, good set. But you guys went up there, and it was material I'd never heard before, you guys.
Mhm.
And I think I saw it a week prior, but you guys just kept right. I was like, that's good shit, and it actually made me really, really nervous. And I think I talked to you guys about it afterwards.
yeah.
And I was just like, oh man, that's really incredible. But that stuck with me, and most of them don't, man. To be drunk and to actually remember something is pretty incredible.
Oh, but back to small talk real quick. Corey was asking me out here. He was like, I did one of my jokes that was maybe my least offensive joke. And this lady got all pissed and walked out. And he was like, how come? Like, he couldn't comprehend. He was like, how come that pissed her off? And I was like, you realize that for the most part, it's only comics that stand outside and talk like this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, everyone else goes by the water cooler and like, how about the game? I got a dog. Like,
oh,
you know, as like, it's only us that wish AIDS upon each other for fun.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
100%.
And he was like, wait, so in our world, we're the only people that talk like this? Because he's just so used to being him all the time.
Oh, I would love
being
to have
around
that
comics.
delusion, man.
Yeah.
That's my struggle is I have to spend most of my time around people and trying to be professional, and then to turn that off and then turn it on to something else. And that, trying to be fluid in between those, man. It does not work out well, but hey, that's the game. I could always start making tables, dude. Trust me, I'm going home and looking at fucking woodworking plans. I made a bed 2 years ago, and I made a king size bed, man, out of cherry wood, and I had a guy help me with it, and that's incredible that you can actually fucking do it. This conversation is going to go nowhere, but I just want to let you know that I appreciate the fact that you know what you're doing with that. That's pretty fucking cool,
right?
Have you ever thought about turning it into more than what it is?
I've thought about it, but
what do you
really
enjoy more, woodworking or comedy?
I enjoy comedy far more.
Do you?
It's not even that I love being a carpenter. It's just that I seem to have a natural skill for it in some way.
Sure.
So I didn't have to labor over learning it. Like a little bit, but not
you just
much,
like
really.
This makes sense?
Yeah, it's easy enough for me to get into and figure out.
You don't let Chris help you with the saws or anything, do you?
I've had because every once in a while I'll take on a job that is more labor on a construction site.
Yeah,
because it can pay well for really fast, but and it's a great workout. Like
oh yeah, no kidding, right?
Workout. But I've told Chris, he's like, I need to try and get some money soon. And I was like, well, if you want to try and bricklay, I can do that.
Oh my god, dude.
We were working on something for a mini documentary about Chris and his career and trying to, go through it because he doesn't remember a lot because he was an alcoholic.
Oh, sure.
So there's a 20-year gap in it where he doesn't remember. So we've been interviewing
I hear it on
other
podcasts because other people remember. Like you'll hear it on Joe Rogan and Doug Stanhope talks about him. Like you'll hear some stories about it. You should do a documentary on him.
So we've been interviewing people. Like we interviewed Sinbad. And we've got an interview with Dave Chappelle that we're working on.
How did they meet, by the way? I know this isn't good for your podcast, and if you can't talk about it, it's fine. But like, what's their backstory? Because I heard that Dave Chappelle went on stage at Red Rocks and said, like, my favorite comedian or one of the best comedians or something huge like the best comedian. Here's Chris Fonseca.
Yeah. It's Dave Chappelle will say that Chris gave the best set he had ever seen. And there's a video of, there's some videos of Dave Chappelle doing 4 hours at the comic strip.
I saw that.
And someone found a segment where he told that story, and it was on like an HBO back in the early 90s, like 10 comics on a show thing. And he said Chris goes up there, and everyone, like the whole audience, like he's standing in the back and he sees the whole audience like, oh my God.
Just like me when I first saw him.
And he said he started out, made everyone immediately feel at ease. He's like, by the end of his 8 minutes, he said he gained a foot in height every minute. It's like by 8 minutes, he was 8 feet tall.
I bet, man.
And people, like, he ended his set, and people were trying to carry his wheelchair out of the
Dude, you'll
theater.
have to send that to me, because that is incredible.
But here's the best part is he says, like, everyone's loving Chris, and the applause is so loud, no one notices that they brought up the next comedian. Like, the applause was louder.
I would hate to follow that asshole.
And it turns out it was Nick DiPaolo.
Ah!
Nick DiPaolo went up after him and just ate shit, and the audience hated him because he spent his whole 10 minutes doing handicap jokes.
Oh.
And just as soon as they started hating it, he doubled down.
That is so funny.
Just lit it on fire.
You know, Nick DiPaolo, man, has a show on, I have XM Radio that I listen to, not to brag, folks, but yeah, so I listen to it. He has a show on XM Radio. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
But he just got started. Like, he's the only guy. He's a racist as fuck, and he owns up to it, too. But he really goes up there. He's like, I hate immigrants. I'm paraphrasing. But, like, that's the vibe. He's a complete pro-Trump guy, man. He goes up there, like, how he's making it as a comedian in New York, being a pro-Trump guy, and he's funny as shit, man.
Oh, yeah, he's absolutely a monster on stage.
He is.
I love his stand-up.
I do too, man. He's quick-witted, but dude, I couldn't imagine following Chris. Like,
yeah. Especially after the best set Dave Chappelle's ever seen. You gotta
what are you gonna fucking do, man?
Follow Chris.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Have you ever gone up after him?
No. And I don't want to
Keep your fingers crossed you don't, man.
Yeah.
That would be
We were talking about there's I guess there's a circuit for sober comics. There's like a sobriety circuit.
That sounds like I'm not gonna lie, it's the lamest thing I've ever
heard.
Like, it's cool. Actually, good for you guys.
Yeah, well actually we did a show, and it was all to AA people. We're trying to do another one here at the theater on the 20th. But we did a show at the Stargazers Theater.
Yeah, that's huge.
And it's a collection of people from different AA, NA, codependent, all that stuff, all these groups. And they're all sober. So obviously the place is pissed that no one's buying drinks.
Yeah.
But
you guys are like doing it for church comedy without the communion. Like,
yeah.
You guys are
but the thing was that they fucking love dirty, filthy humor because they were all alcoholics at one point.
That's a very good point.
So they were the best audience and the most responsive I've ever had to my material, especially.
That's a very good point.
Because I do some of my material and the whole audience would be like, wow, that's fucking insane.
Yeah.
How that would happen. But it was the only audience I've ever played for. They're like, I did that shit too. I remember.
Oh, that's a good. I'm an asshole. You're 100% right.
Yeah.
That is an awesome crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And they're attentive, I'm sure. And
yeah.
And you don't have any hecklers.
No.
Jesus, you found a gold mine.
Yeah. It's amazing. And it's, it's a small circuit, but it's still the best audience I've ever played to.
I've never even heard of that market, but it makes total sense, man. I bet you could make that happen.
Mm-hmm. And so there's that, which is really fun to do. But yeah, we're working on doing it because Chris is 5 years sober on the 20th.
That's what I saw. There's a show coming up for that.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, man!
Yeah, I know
Vincent Vigil. There are a bunch. You know, the more I meet like actual headliners, most of them are sober. Like they've gone through. I don't know if that's true, but at least the facade is out there, and they don't have a drink with them. But like when I work with headliners, a lot of them are like, I'm the host, and I'm just like, hey, everybody, I'm all, and then the feature's drinking a little bit, and the headliner's just like, nah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Like they've been through it for enough years to where they're just like.
I've definitely like poured out a beer and then put like O'Doul's in it.
Oh, sure.
To have like, so people think I'm drinking. And
Absolutely.
I just don't do sober material, but like it's enough. And some people don't like booking you because you're sober because you're not going to sell as many drinks.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you getting booked as a headliner?
No, but just even being on the show.
Really? That is pretty odd, man. Because at my level, nobody gives a shit what I like. They're just like, hey, you're here. Like, be happy you're on the goddamn show. But
Yeah, it's right now, I think it's going to become more and more a thing, but right now it's the difference of like 5% more work.
Sure.
If you play a place.
Take what you can get, man.
Yeah.
I'd fake anything on stage, if it helped me with the audience. But I guess that's my problem. Like, trying to be genuine is something hard to do because the stuff I want to talk about isn't maybe necessarily funny immediately. And then I can't go to open mics, man, because the people, they're nice enough to where they'll laugh at anything you have to say. So I can't learn anything at an open mic. And then, yeah, it's a tough one, man.
I had that once. I got off stage at the Zodiac, and I hated my set. I got a couple laughs, but I hated what I did.
Yeah.
And this chick came up to me who was a comic, and she goes, "That was amazing." I was like, "Really? Was it? Was it prior Carlin fucking Bill Hicks amazing?
Oh, man.
Was it just decent because I went on after Gusterson?" The fuck?
Did you actually say, or were you just thinking it? Oh,
No,
you really did?
But it's just the
It's a good thing you're sober.
me
You
off.
would burn down buildings.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
totally.
that is fucking funny.
Chris and I have talked about that if we met when we were drinking.
Oh, you guys would have been a fucking complete nutball.
Yeah.
Like, that's
not
good
melted
for
down
anybody.
the city. This theater would be gone.
No, it's so fucking weird, man. When I listened to Rogan's podcast, and I know I already said it, but like they bring up Chris Fonseca. Like every once in a while, I'm just such a comedy nerd.
Yeah.
And I'll just end up hearing his name dropped, and like it's not a passive thing. Like they get there and they stay on Chris for a little bit, and just like this guy did X and Y, and you just hear these stories like, how the fuck is this guy still alive?
Yeah.
If anybody needs to celebrate 5 years sober, it's that guy.
If you come across those, tag them and send them to me on Facebook, because I'm kind of compiling
For the documentary?
compiling like radio shows and stuff.
I think that's a great idea, man.
I found a clip of Patrice O'Neill talking about Chris. He can't remember his name in the clip, but he's like, that Spanish dude in the wheelchair.
Oh,
fucking crushed. What was his name?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I want to see all these, man. I think he's the only guy I know who, and I don't even know Chris, but like I know of him. And like that's fascinating that he's around here. And like I have a couple things. Like I also think Chris likes to start a lot of shit in the scene.
Yeah.
And like I know he'll see this, but like I think he likes to start a lot of shit in the scene. And I don't know if it's just because he finds it funny. He's smart, so I know he knows what he's doing. I think he's just fucking bored, and he's just sitting there like, yeah, fuck this person, and he'll do it. I think there's an element to it, and he gets a kick out of it on his own.
Yeah.
But I'm like, he is a huge goddamn name and a resource for all of us around here to have, man. I've reached out to advice from the guy, but at the same time, it's pretty funny to see him fuck with open micers, and I'm just like, dude. That's why I avoid him, because I'm just like, I don't want to get drug into that and have him call me out and then my career's over. Like, I just stay away from it. But
I think that there's a thing with him, and it is a certain amount of boredom.
It has to be,
because he gets on, he gets up every day and just writes. Pretty much. I mean, he can't do much else except sit at his iPad and write.
Sure.
So he writes jokes for other people and sells them, and that's how he makes.
He's
a
amazing
lot of money.
at it.
While he's sitting there, someone posts something dumb on Facebook, and he's like,
he
"Oh, son of a
on
bitch!"
Yep. Well, and he's funny enough to come at him.
Yeah.
And so I completely get his angle, but I just
the
avoid
same
the guy
time-
because I'm like, I'm not getting his crosshairs. Nothing good will come out of me talking to him. But fuck, if you become somebody he doesn't like, have a good time, man. But I don't need 40,000 people or whatever the fuck it is coming after my shit.
And there is a thing with him though, is like he gets, I think, called out for starting more shit than he actually starts. Like at a certain point, he'll always like light a match.
Oh yeah.
But it's always the other person that takes it and burns down their house with it.
Because they're inexperienced, they're young, and they don't know what they're doing. And I see it coming, man. Because I'll watch them. This is not going to be good. This is not going to be.
I'm
just
like, how do
your
you
account, man?
Like, if you want to be a comic, there's a certain amount of understanding, like PR and having, like, because your outward personality is your commodity.
Sure.
You're trying to sell and maintain.
Exactly.
So how do you just not have a sense of maybe where to go with
and
it?
how do you go back at Chris Fonseca? Because I've been thinking about this. Like, if Chris came at me, what the fuck am I going to say? The guy's, 1, he's a legend. 2, he's hilarious. 3, he's in a fucking wheelchair.
Right.
How am I ever going to beat this guy? It's like, no way, man. I just avoid it at all costs.
And I think the people that have been like caught up in it are the people that come back at him, like thinking that they're
I don't know why you would ever do it. Yeah. my 22 friends on Facebook do not give a shit. He's got, that guy's fascinating to me. I hope you do the documentary, man. I hope it comes through because it's fascinating. I Google him and I watch his YouTube videos like from back in the day when he was still walking even, and like I watch all these videos of him. I was like, man, the guy's a fucking legend. It's absolutely everything.
And it's crazy because like we know him, but he's not really that known anymore in stand-up, even amongst like comedy history nerds. He doesn't come up that much, and I think he kind of gets swept under the rug for like with the gimmick comics. Like
I can
gimmick comics
see that.
kind of went the way of the dodo bird at some point. The guy with the coach and the guy who dressed up like a vampire and all that shit.
Exactly, or prop comics or something like that. But
comedy historians, like big comedy nerds, don't give a shit about them anymore.
Which is
not
really like unfair. Now, like I don't obviously you know this, but I mean he's not a gimmick. He's disabled, but
he's disabled.
The guy can fucking write, man.
Oh yeah.
He can write some goddamn jokes. I don't know anybody else who can touch him around here anyway.
Right, but his fan base right now is largely in San Antonio and not much anywhere else.
Really?
Yeah, he's big in Texas, but that's about it for right now.
And this isn't supposed to be the Chris Fonseca podcast. I understand that. Cut out whatever you want. But I'm just what's his game plan? Because he's been sober for 5 years. I've always assumed that because you guys can Google this if you ever look up Chris Fonseca, you'll see the stories. But like he drank heavily, and like that was not good for his career.
Yeah.
But now that he's been sober, I assume he should be able to get right to the top. I mean, the guy can still tell the jokes. I know it's kind of hard to rebuild relationships, but is that probably what you would assume he was doing?
That's part of it.
You can't speak on his behalf, I get.
Yeah. I can speak to some of it from what he's told me. But, there are, being in the business that long, and especially in alcoholic, there are some relationships that, with club owners and stuff that are just like, never again. He's not allowed in here.
Yeah.
So he's definitely got an interesting career.
But his age group of all those people, man, are all coming like now they're the revered, like his age group,
and he came up. I've told other people like he came up before Behind the Music was really a thing.
Yeah.
So he has all these stories about partying and stuff, but everyone in the stories doesn't realize. Everyone in the story is like, yeah, let's do blow. Why would this ever end?
Yeah.
No one's planning for the future or what's going to happen later.
You have to do that. You have to do it, man, because that is such a good story, man. And like like I said, I Googled the guy. Like I would back it. I would help you fund it with my $30 I can give you, man. But I would love to watch that. I hope you get that off the ground, man, because people would watch that. I think that would be a really good story.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's part of separating him from being swept under the rug. I think. Yeah. With some of the other acts that. Because he definitely should be known more. And as we've been talking about filming this thing, I was like, what do you really want to come off as? Because hopefully if we start to build you a new audience with this thing, you can control how it comes off. And he was like, I want to be known as a guy that writes jokes, less for a guy that, that just has cerebral palsy. He was like, because when I started, that was it. That was all anyone latched onto.
Well, I think you just nailed it. That's the beauty, and I think that's what he's been doing is that he can. He goes up as the guy with cerebral palsy. Yeah. He comes off as that's a funny guy. Yeah. And like nobody gives a shit that he's in a wheelchair. Yeah. And I don't think he's lost any of that. I don't think he's lost a step on that.
And I got
his jokes aren't even dated. You know what I mean? Like I don't think all his Facebook jokes are hilarious, but if you see that guy on stage, you're gonna laugh your ass off. Yeah. Everything he says is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah. I've got some good footage of both Corey and I trashing him and him coming back.
Oh, I bet.
At the same time with it. And I was like, this is going to be really good to put in that his palsy is like a joke to us. Like we just laugh about it.
And he's cool with that?
Yeah. And he comes back and trashes us back too with it.
That's cool, man.
What is it? At the same time, we had Corey before a show, before he brought up Chris.
Yeah.
Like fuck with him and give him this whole speech and like what an inspiration he is to and just made him sound so much worse off.
Oh, that is so fucking funny, man.
So, but he was like, yeah, he was like every time I did a TV show before an interview, they would bring what an inspiration.
Oh,
it's like
of course
I'm a
they
joke,
did.
Right? Yeah.
I guess that's what you mean by the gimmick, then.
Yeah.
That is weird because I never saw it. Every time I watched it on like Letterman or some of the big
Right.
things, I don't think they really addressed it that he
Mhm.
had it. But that's gotta suck, man. When you
Yeah.
have all the talent in the world and people still just point to the most obvious thing about you.
Mhm. Yeah,
Jesus, man,
but
heavy stuff. But
yeah.
he can go fuck himself too. Go fuck yourself, Chris.
Yeah, you start shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. I now have to delete my goddamn Facebook. This is good.
and that's I think I've told him before. I was like, for a guy who, what is it? For a guy who needs help to the toilet and has a 0-inch vertical, he's got a lot of pride. I think that's his sin is he's almost too prideful.
You know what though? I get it though. I think you
Yeah.
have to be because what else do you
Right.
have if you're not like you're that goddamn funny and
Right.
everybody else looks at you like you're retarded?
Yeah,
I mean, you
Oh,
have
yeah,
to be.
yeah.
Why wouldn't you be?
that's come up plenty of times. To the point is, I've done an impression of him where he's like, "I've been on Letterman." Like, it comes up all
Your
the time.
impressions are good, man. That's
I've
funny.
been figuring it out, but like, we were outside of the Comedy Works. He did a show with the Sklar Brothers,
Yeah.
and we go outside as he's like shaking hands, and I'm there hanging out with Chris Wellman behind him, and we're just doing jokes as Chris meets people, and we both see this girl. This girl comes up to him, and like really loudly in his face, it's like, "You were great," and he's like, "Thank you." And she goes, "Are you retarded?"
You're joking.
No. And he goes like,
Are you retarded?
He's like-
yeah.
"You saw me go up on stage for 20 minutes and point out things you never noticed
Yeah, I know.
about the world."
Did he actually articulate to him and tell him that, or was he just like,
Yeah.
"Oh my God, are you retarded?" That is so fucking stupid. Like the level of incompetence.
Yeah,
there
he
is,
didn't. He told us that afterwards, that part. But he also told us it was like Sinbad years ago because he used to argue with people.
Yeah,
Sinbad was like, just shake their hands and they're gone.
that's a very good point.
You know, but
It's a lot like Twitter. Just ignore the shit talkers and just
But yeah.
be done with it.
But at the time, even weirder is she goes, "Are you retarded?" And
Loudly.
he goes, "No." And she goes, "Oh, okay." And then puts her phone number in his shirt pocket. And Chris Wellman and I were both like,
What if he said yes?
we did bits all the way home. Yeah. We were like, what if he did say
I'm
it?
not fucking any retard.
Is this his community? Yeah. Was this her like Girl Scout badge, like community service
Yeah, I know.
to occasionally fuck someone with a mental handicap too? Like,
That's always blown my mind though, man. Because I got married when I was 22 years old,
Mhm.
and like, so I didn't get to fuck a lot of girls beforehand, and I
Mhm.
never was good at getting with girls. And Chris has kids from different women.
yeah.
I'm like, fucking Chris has kids like with different women. He's fucked more girls than I have by far. Blows my mind.
Yeah. And like tens too. I don't know how he fucking does it, but I've
It's
also
hilarious.
I've also talked to him about like, I'll never understand female attraction. Like,
No. Oh, no.
I can't even wrap my head around it. It's like I
It doesn't make sense.
posted a picture once of a table I made for McCabe's brewery.
Oh, you weren't joking around.
Yeah.
What did they do with that table? And they sold it anyway. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, but I posted a picture of this table I made, and this girl later, like after we had sex, I was like, "By the way, how did you end up here in my bedroom? Like, this is amazing to me. I'd like to repeat this process. Let me know what I
is
did."
it though? Oh, it's
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous.
And she goes, I saw a picture of a table you made on Facebook, and I was like, "Wow, that's hot."
Dude, the table
I was like,
business.
I don't.
Have you ever gotten laid for your comedy?
Yeah,
Really?
that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
you can go fuck yourself, man. So you've gotten laid for tables and comedy.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, like, I'll never understand female attraction because I've never looked at a table and be like, "Oh fuck yeah,
I
What a
know.
blow whoever made that." Like,
Oh, bullshit, dude.
it's amazing craftsmanship.
Yeah, he's really good with his hands or something like that. Like, I get
Yeah,
all
something.
that, man. Holy shit.
I've never
You got laid
understood.
for your comedy.
Yeah, and I think it's
What city? I just want to know.
Denver and this one, but like,
Oh, dude, Denver.
but
damn, good for you.
I think it comes off as because I was wondering about it too. and I asked a girl, and she told me a little stuff. I was able to infer from the rest of it that if I'm on a show, the typical comedian right now is some curly-haired dude with big glasses and a hoodie on at 30.
Did you literally describing Mike? I know where you're going because it's me. But yeah, I'm in that ballpark. Yes. Yeah.
But like I did New Faces at Comedy Works, and it was me, this black kid, and then every other comic was this, what is it, hoodie at 30, big glasses, and they go up there and tell one-liners. And did you ever notice, speaking of,
dude, you just
like one after the other?
That is Denver. That's
just closed off body posture, everything.
That's me. Yeah.
And so
you go up there and talking about crazy shit.
So just by talking about crazy shit, opening up your body in like kind of a challenging alpha male way to get the audience to listen to you,
like cock out kind of thing, like hipster.
Yeah, it just makes you look like the biggest dick on the show.
That is
comparatively to nerd after nerd after nerd.
That is a good point. So you don't lock up though when you go up there, and like I'm always closed off. That's why my hands in my pockets, or even now, dude, my arms are crossed. I can't open up like that. Mm-hmm. Like, but you have no problem just going up there and be like, hey, this is me, and here I am.
Yeah, it also makes my material work better.
Oh, of course,
so I'm kind of forced to.
Yeah,
and not just like I was talking to someone. I was explaining to this person, asked me about like how they want to do it, and so I told them that how I do it. And they were like, oh, so like being closed off is a shitty way to do it. And I was like, actually not, because the way that I stand on stage is like trying to make everyone listen to me like alpha male dynamics, like monkey dynamics.
I've heard about all the time. You want to be open and you want to have like use your arms. And
but it also makes guys in the audience more confrontational. So you're more likely to get hecklers, more likely to have to fight the audience a little bit.
Yeah.
But you can also go into deeper and darker topics.
Yeah.
Because they're gonna like trust your confidence that you're gonna lead them through more.
Never thought about that angle. That's good, because I've always thought about it. The previous two things you just said were like they made sense to me. Like I always figured if I make the guys laugh, the girls will feel like they can laugh. And I don't know if that's true or not. And I don't know if it works, but that's interesting. I've never thought about that last point.
But also, if your posture is kind of closed off or a little bit beta or whatever,
of course,
it lends itself a lot more to one-liners and surface level material.
It has to be, because you're not performing.
Yeah, and you're not confrontational with anybody.
Sure.
So they won't trust you so much if you go into a really deep or dark territory.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But for surface level stuff, the audience doesn't feel challenged. They can relax. Every once in a while, if you do get a heckler, it's a lot less often, but they're really the kind of asshole who's like, he's weak, get him! But they don't feel challenged by you, really.
Fucking feed off that, man.
Yeah.
I just need somebody to talk to in the audience. And if I can find that one person, man, who just won't shut up, that's when I do my best, because I can open up. And I don't try to be a dick immediately, but if it happens, it happens. If they need it, they need it. And I need to figure out how to do it better. But that's the only part I enjoy. And I'm not really terribly good at crowd work, but it's the only thing I enjoy in comedy. I don't enjoy writing jokes and memorizing them and telling them. But if I can do something in the moment, if I can go up there and just be like, oh, this guy's being an asshole in the moment, this is perfect, man. And it's a good time. And I can shit on him, and I can bring people in together and like tie them in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd love to figure that out. But
by the same token, my style is Chris has given me jokes before, and they stick out like a sore thumb in my act. It's not even that they're not mine. It's just that the like witty pun surface level one-liner that he's amazing at writing.
Of course he is.
And those jokes work, but they just stick out that style because I'm not,
I know exactly
closed
what
off
you mean.
Different body language. They're expecting something darker or deeper, and I come out with a pun.
Yeah.
So
it would throw them off guard a little bit. I've had the same thing. Anytime somebody's given me a joke, I've never taken it. And I'm like, hey, that's a good joke, and it is. And it even improves my joke. But I'm super nervous about being labeled as a guy who steals shit.
Yeah.
And I work with a guy, I won't say his name, but I worked with him in the scene, and he got accused, and was rightfully so, of stealing a bunch of shit. And he stole an act, actually. And so I'm very nervous about getting called out for being a thief as well, because we're really good friends, and we work together a lot. But I was like, oh, fuck, I do not want to be that. So anytime somebody gives me a joke, I'm like, hey, that's a good joke. I will never use it.
I don't know where it came from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the truth of the matter is I don't know where you got that, and maybe you think you wrote it, but maybe you got it from somebody else.
It's I've studied it. It's called cryptonesia.
Oh, really?
Is the process of you thinking something is your idea when you heard it.
I think I've had that happen.
Yeah, it's happened to me before too.
Yeah.
With bits, and there's actually a name for it. It's cryptonesia.
No kidding, because I know it's happened, but then like as soon as somebody tells you, when I first started, and I think this is how it normally is, but it doesn't seem like it anymore. Is people just say, "Hey man, I've heard that joke from this guy," and like you just drop it and you're done.
Yeah.
But it seems like now people want like they'll tell you on Facebook to all of their friends.
Oh yeah.
And you're just like, what are you doing, man? Like, unless it's like intentional and you can tell, like that. I don't know. That kind of shit drives me nuts. But I've also had an instance where I wrote a joke. Like I wrote a joke talking about how the Boston accent isn't really an accent; it's a speech impediment. Well, then months later, Louis C.K. comes out and says it. I wrote it. I don't even know if he was telling it beforehand. I've never seen Louis C.K. Live, but Louis C.K. said the goddamn joke. I can't say it anymore. I'm done. That is his joke no matter what.
That parallel thought.
Yeah, exactly.
That if you can have that thought, especially a joke, if you come to a topic, there's so many ways you can approach it and get a story B out of it, a punchline, before it just becomes completely abstract and ridiculous.
Oh, of course. And that's why I want to learn how to write things that are more personal, because if they're based off experience, I'm not a storyteller, and I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to story tell. I mean, I know you tell a story and then you like cram jokes in there, but it's always force fed, man. Like if I can figure out how to make things personal, you don't have to worry about joke theft.
Yeah.
Because it's your own story, right?
Yeah, and that's I think that's personally how I got this style of more storytelling in the first place.
Yeah.
Is because I grew up so much on stand-up that by the time it came to try stand-up, I didn't really have any like knowledge of things to pull from.
Sure.
Outside of stand-up. But I can't just pull from other people's bits to write my own.
Fuck no.
So I was like, well, I better just go personal, because I don't have a lot of references for any. If you tell me to write a joke about dinosaurs, I'm going to do someone else's joke about dinosaurs.
Absolutely.
So, because that's what's in there. Since then, since I've started stand-up, I've tried to take in a lot of other media as well. Read books that I would never read or not for me.
Oh, absolutely.
Stuff just to have references in a lot of movies too, but
and you have
at the
to,
beginning,
man. You have to just to broaden your perspective so you have something to talk about.
Yeah, at the beginning, personal was all I had.
I think personal is the best way to go. I can't see anyone, and that's why I want to have new experiences. My wife wants me to go to India with her in November to this thing called an ashram. And it's where you go, she's a fucking granola eating. She is a yoga instructor and all that shit. But anyway, she wants to go to India where you don't talk and you do yoga stretches all day and like just crazy shit, dude. But I was like, I'm 100% down. She's like, you can't handle it. I was like, no, I will. And it's like, there's going to be so much material out of this. So we're thinking in November to go to India and just fucking not talking.
The best place to generate material is the worst place for a comic to be.
It is.
Is there a worse place for a comedian to be than surrounded by like shiny bullshit?
Oh,
and
I know.
Not allowed to talk? Like,
that's the first thing she said to me, man. She's like, you realize that you can't laugh when people are doing chants. I was like, bullshit. I mean, yes, right. And I will try. I really will give it 100% go, because when you try something that's out of your world, you're going to find aspects like, you can't write I can't just sit there and write jokes at my computer just trying to think of jokes. I try it all the time, and you can tell when you're doing that because it's so fucking forced. Yeah. And, I mean, I guess I do that, but man, that's not an effective way of doing comedy. Can you sit and write?
Yeah, I do most everything sitting and writing.
And you, how do you, like, you're just like, here's today's topic, or?
No, normally it'll start with an idea, and then I'll just keep it in a notebook, and then later I'll go back and kind of explore it at length, and then I go back and cut out all the fat and whatnot.
Sure.
But like I remember I was trying to explain Corey about this when he was really learning it. Is he had a story where he was on mushrooms and he was listening to rap in his headphones as he was walking through a grocery store.
Yeah.
And there's like the rap's pretty disgusting. He's like, fuck grandma on a Tuesday and this and whatnot. And he's going through the store, and then this Mexican woman just locked eyes with him. And he was like, oh no, was I singing that out loud?
Oh my God.
And she doesn't see like my headphone in, so I was just like, fuck yo, grandma.
No, God.
But he immediately, when he was writing the joke, he's like, I don't know where to take it from there. And all of the stuff that he suggested was like, mushrooms are great, blah, 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 and buzz. And I was like, what actually happened in the story? Because you're trying to find, like, so worried it's not going to be funny that you're trying to make it funny.
That's what I do.
Trying to go there. But, like, actual human experience is funny enough. And once the stuff is all out there and laid out, you'll notice how much of it is just setups that you have to add punchlines to.
Okay.
You know? But if you're always trying to steer it into funny.
I always am. Always.
Yeah. If you're always trying to do that, you cut out all the rest of the story where all these setups actually are.
That's good. Like the detail and the nuance and the thing that makes it like that people can relate to.
Yeah.
Is like what. Yeah, I don't know. That the whole story thing is. And I actually wrote Chris and I asked him a while back. I've never asked the guy for help. I've never done anything like I told you. I don't talk with him much. But I reached out to him after I had a horrible set. I was like, Chris, how do I learn how to do storytelling stand-up? Because I'll get back to you. And I never heard from the fucking guy again, man.
Yeah, I asked him that when I was learning how to put together a really long story. And I was like, do you have any tips, anything you could tell me about how to do storytelling? And he was like, yeah, I'll tell you first how to do a backflip, and then I'll explain storytelling.
Gotcha.
It's like, it's just not in he's because of his limitations with the palsy.
Sure.
We were talking about how he has one joke format, and he has become razor sharp with that one joke. He's the best at one-liner puns where you don't hear the punchline until the last word.
Exactly.
Because he also can't ramble on if he's hit a punchline.
That's a very good point.
It always has to hit on the very last word. So he's the best at that, but he's never really explored other styles.
What? I didn't even think about that. I may have asked the complete wrong guy how to do something.
And he has tons of info
for a guy with all the stories that he could have.
Yeah, and he mostly just knows how to do what he does, but he can tell you when you suck more than give you what to do better.
Yeah,
because he's seen 30 plus years of stand-up.
Oh, I know.
Other careers. So he knows when something sucks.
That's why when I see people talk shit to him, even if he came at me, I wouldn't say anything because he comes at you as a comedian, and to retaliate as a comedian is not an option, man. I'm not a comedian. Yeah. He's literally been telling jokes for every year. He's been doing it 10 years. Like, he's just 10 times longer than longer. The guy's ridiculous. And so, but I do get a kick out of watching these new people like who they've been doing comedy a month. They change their Facebook picture to them holding a microphone. They list their job as a stand-up comic. Yeah. Then they go after Chris Fonseca, and then their Facebook page is gone. And it's happened a lot. If you come at them, good luck, man. But I stay the fuck out of that.
Oh yeah.
I read it though nonstop. I'm addicted to those threads.
Comedy scene drama. So.
Well, that's why I just
ridiculous.
Don't understand why he'd want to even be involved in it.
Right.
I just don't understand why he'd even want to touch it because it's fucking awful. I hate it.
Yeah, and like I said, part of it is boredom because he sits around most of the time. But another part of it is like he really hates hacks and thieves.
Good for him.
Like hacks and thieves, he absolutely hates them, and I think it's also born of a little bit of anger of where he is.
Sure.
Like when you used to watch Sinbad go up every night.
Yeah.
And Dave Chappelle, if you're on the road with Dave Chappelle and you come back here and watch open mics here, what the fuck is wrong with these people?
There has to be that element. I think he'd probably be the first to admit it. But
so
can we talk about the joke?
Yeah.
The joke?
Yeah, we've talked about it before on here.
What's your opinion on
ridiculous.
It? Just so everybody knows that the whole joke was, I guess you can explain it better than I probably can. I don't have it memorized, but
the joke was this girl wrote a joke specifically to play to a black audience, is what she thought.
Okay.
There was a room that was predominantly black people.
Sure.
She went up one time and bombed.
Yeah.
And she was like, so I need to write some material for black people. And she wrote this as her opener.
Yeah, not the best.
And her joke was, why do we let them ride the bus? Rosa Parks is a cunt. And that was...
Shitty joke.
Yeah, it's a shitty joke.
My opinion on the whole damn thing is, and I've always wanted to tell because I won't say it on Facebook because, God damn it, you'll get lashed out at. she's been doing comedy a month, I don't know, 3 months,
Yeah.
6 months. Who gives a shit? She hasn't been doing it very long. Neither have I, and she's much newer than me. I don't understand why he got that mad about that joke, even if it was a shitty joke, which it was.
Mm-hmm.
Why would anybody be that upset about it? Was an attempt at humor, and the fact that you said she wrote it for a black room means she thought it was funny.
Really, yeah, and she thought that would identify.
But she
with
thought
the black
that, like,
audience.
she did not come
Yeah.
at it from a malicious perspective. So it wasn't malicious. It's a shit joke, and I've told tons of shit. I said nigger
Yeah.
on stage once because
Mhm.
I thought I was being edgy when I first
Yeah.
started, and like I'm an idiot for it, and I regret it
Mhm.
every step of the way. But I said it, and I know
Mhm.
most comics you talk to have done something very similar.
Yeah,
I don't see how hers is any different.
is any different?
I feel like
than
I'm
fucking
missing
up.
some backstory here, and even if I am, I
Right.
don't care. But personally, it's like, yeah, it's an awful joke, but it wasn't that bad, was
Considering like some of the stuff we've all done.
it? Yeah, and I don't
fucking
even
up
think
on
it's
stage.
racist, to be honest. I think it's
Mhm.
misogynistic. Anything,
Yeah.
right? The punch is cunt. Like, I think it's misogynistic. I don't even think it's racist.
it
We don't have to spend much time on it because I
right,
know you
right.
already discussed it. But what's your opinion on it?
not really at length. What is it? Part of it is that she's done other racist jokes on stage,
Okay.
so it definitely
There's a trend here.
yeah. One of her jokes was I could never sleep with a black guy because it would only feel rapey.
Oh, that's not a joke at all. Yeah. Okay.
And it's come up a couple of times, and people have corrected her more on earlier stuff that was racist.
This is like
material.
a final straw kind of deal.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's come up multiple times, and different people, me, Corey, Chris, even about that joke,
Yeah.
told her that that's awful, and she kind of told us all that we don't know what we're talking about. Like,
I guess I don't even think the fact that an established comedian like had issue with it. My
Right.
problem was with when you read this thread of people who aren't comics
yeah,
saying
yeah,
you guys need to rein her in and like you can't do that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
That bothers me because you should be
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
go up there and like, granted, the venue should be able to kick you out. That's
Mhm.
fine, but you should be able to go to the next venue and tell the same joke and keep getting kicked out.
Yeah.
And yeah, pay the cost, man. Maybe you get
Mhm.
your tires slashed. Maybe somebody has a real issue with it, but
yeah,
when people are saying that's not comedy and it's being egged on to say that's
Right.
not comedy and you guys can't say that, that
Mhm.
pisses me off, man. It's something awful. Like
Mhm.
that's the only thing I care about in comedy is that you can go up there and say whatever you want. And granted,
yeah,
that's not a pass to not pay the price,
Mhm.
but you also shouldn't be ridiculed by a comic, I don't think, for being able to like. For Chris knows he's seen 30
Mhm.
years of comedy. I've seen 3 years of comedy. Like
right.
you're gonna see that all the damn time.
Mhm.
I just want to know what your opinion was on that.
Yeah, mine personally was less with the joke, and because I do know she's an open micer who's relatively new, and I know she has some. I don't think she's a full blown racist, but some racial tendencies.
Oh, of course.
In the way that most of my family does. Most of my family is, hicks in a wheat field
Yeah, same here.
Tired.
Iowa. Yeah.
racism. So I personally didn't have a real problem with it, and it's also not my world. Like, it's not in my world to stick up for the black community, so I don't really care.
I'm with you, man.
It's not me.
Yeah, like it's not my world to offend him either.
Right.
But
So, but is it racist? I thought so. And I don't think Chris was in the wrong at all because she continued to do it enough that it pissed him off,
sure,
and so he posted about it. What is
I mean, that's
it?
his
And I don't
prerogative,
think-
man. I'm not judging
Yeah,
what
yeah.
he did. I'm more pissed about other civilians coming
Yeah.
on this thread.
I'm kind of pissed about what it became.
Get her to lose her job.
Well, that's the thing is he didn't name her in the post or anything.
Not the first one. The
He-
second one he did.
Right. What is it? But she what is it? He didn't name her, he just wrote the joke.
True.
It was like, fuck this racist
She
shit.
added herself, and you had a very
Yeah.
funny joke in that thread.
Yeah.
Very funny joke. I liked it. I remember.
Right.
I thought that was one of the like I wanted to avoid everything, but you had something.
Yeah.
You really threw yourself under a bus on this one. Very funny, man.
Yeah.
But
And that was one of those things is she added herself and I was like, how could you be so stupid? And Corey has had problems in the past with people like talking about him on Facebook, but no one has really said his name, and he doesn't give a fuck.
that's
Like,
a
he
very
really
good one.
doesn't
His
care.
his are jokes. Like
Yeah,
he
his
has
are jokes.
he has humor in it, and
Mhm.
it doesn't sound like your grandpa just saying the most
Yeah.
racist shit ever. Like
Yeah.
he has
he's
a punchline on it.
He's very inventive with racism, which I don't know how he's taken it to a new level of creativity.
He really is, man. I think it's funny, yeah. But if you hear somebody just say something that's just racist and not funny, well, then it's a rally. It's not a stand-up show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so I thought I was more kind of personally upset with the fact that she A, outed herself, and then B, continued to fight it. So
I'm proud of her for fighting it. I think what she said is true. I really do believe in it. Like, she had her initial post. I agreed with everything she had to say there. I think she's young and dumb to throw her own name out there on that joke. Is knowing Chris and his audience that he has, you're not gonna win. You're fucked. And like, just take the criticism. If you didn't ouch him, you dodged a bullet and you got lucky. And
that's the thing is, I know the material I do. And I don't go anywhere near as far as Corey. Corey likes just stepping over the line and fucking with people, but at the same time,
Chappelle says a habitual line stepper.
yeah. What is it? But I know the material do, and I want to be able to do whatever I want to say. But I like considering things and not just talking out of my ass.
Oh, sure.
If I haven't personally written any bits about racism because I know my perspective, but I don't have any other perspective than that.
Sure.
Really. So I'd want to research first and get some more knowledge in my head about it.
Yeah.
Before I just start popping
My problem
off,
is everybody is just so fucking. They want to back up their own goddamn. Like, everybody's so concerned about, like, don't make fun of my special interest, but everybody else's is fine. You can't care about it too much as long as you're not being malicious and you're trying to be funny. I don't see it.
But like, I work for myself. A, so I can make my own schedule, but also no one can fire me.
I know, it's pretty awesome.
I've set my life up in a certain way that I don't have to be afraid of losing anything on stage.
Do you know how easy it is to turn a table into a fucking cross? Like, you'd be fine. Like, you could just, you'd be fine, man. You'd make all the fucking wooden crosses you need to, and they can burn them. Like, you're good to go.
Yeah. So I really set myself up with a certain anonymity so I can feel comfortable talking about whatever I want.
That's a very good point.
And
I'm not afraid of getting fired. Like, I used to be super afraid. I had a top secret security clearance with the military, and I couldn't tell jokes. So I left that job for another job that I have, and like, I'm sure I can get fired for it, but like, there's no like military punishment for it, and like, I don't know. I just don't care anymore. Like, if somebody wants to fire me because of something I said, that'll happen, man. What can you do?
Right.
I lost my fear of any of that stuff. So you don't have any fear to be had.
Yeah. I made sure I'm covered, and also because I want to consider things, and because that's also how you can approach something from a unique perspective, is also by having some empathy for the other party and thinking outside of what your own brain thinks.
Absolutely.
So I think it makes my writing more interesting at the same time.
Well, yeah, covering it from all angles is always good. I always like to write down if I have an idea.
Or sorry, I did think. What is it? I do actually have some racial material. I forgot. I started doing a bit, what is it, the other day, because I was watching some horror movies with my roommate.
Yeah.
And we watched like 3 movies in a row, and the black guy died first in every single horror movie. Yeah. And my roommate was like, well, that's really racist. The black guy always dies first. And I was like, really? Because I don't think it'd work any other way. If the rest of the teenagers started dying, like, what black dude is hanging out in a cabin with 2 dead white girls, like waiting for the cops to come rescue him?
That's a very good point. There's nothing more unbelievable than.
So you can tell him that the ghost did it, and then the cops will save him.
That's a really good point, man. That's a weed thought right there. That's something I would have to be high to think of. That's fucking funny. That's a very good point.
But even that is thought, and I don't mind talking. Telling that to an audience, because I think it brings a different
well, that's not even racist at all.
Yeah, it's not, but it's racial material to some extent. But like I've thought about that and made sure that, like, if anyone ever got on my case about that, like, if I found myself in Alyssa's position after she outed herself, she already outed. All right. Yeah, I fucked up. But if I found myself in her position, not only could anyone hold anything over my head, but at the same time, I don't mind explaining that joke or talking about it.
That's a good point.
When she brought it up, she said, you guys have taken the joke completely out of context. And I wanted to defend for her a little bit at the time.
Sure.
So I was like, please explain the joke then, and fucking came back with nothing. I have a First Amendment right to say what I want. And it's like, so it's not out of...
And that's not even true because you're at a private establishment. That doesn't even make sense. First Amendment does not come into play. You're not on a fucking street corner.
Right.
You're in somebody's establishment.
Talking into a microphone to the public.
It's not a First Amendment thing, but I do think it's a comedy thing. I think comedy-wise, you should be able to say, well, and you pay the price for it, as she has. But I do like the idea of some new person being up there and going out and finding their boundaries. I've said faggot, I've said the N-word, I've said all that stuff.
Yeah,
and
me too.
I found out I can't say that stuff, and like it took me a little bit to figure it out because everybody's going to go through that process of when they're trying to be edgy. And you know,
and it's weird to figure out those lines and how it works because I've noticed in my writing there's always a way around it too. There's a way to figure it out.
But you learned that over time. You didn't know that. It's not instinctual. You had to find that out by fucking up first, right?
Yeah, but I remember I told a story once on stage about like my high school bully. Where I received like one of the worst beatings of my life. And it's when I stopped believing in God. Yeah. Because I was a really devout Catholic up until this point, and then this kid was kicking me in the stomach, and he said God doesn't listen to fags.
Oh my God.
And what is it? And for some reason, after all the other evidence, like that was the point where it just sank in, and I was like, oh, he's right. And but I told that story on stage, and a woman came up to me and was like, you can't say that word. And I was like, what? You mean when I was having the shit kicked out of me?
That, but see, yeah, you had a personal experience. Hers was a shitty joke, so I do get it. I just, but I don't know. It's disheartening to see it because if you can't learn, because it's going to happen to every comic, and I don't know. The whole thing, nobody liked it. It didn't. Nobody looked like a winner in that entire thing, man. Everybody looked like a loser there.
But I just think it's part of considering it. And if you have something to lose as you're coming out, like I got trashed, not to the extent that she did, but I got plenty trashed coming up for all different kinds of shit, mostly personal face to face. So like, but I just thought you take your lumps and move on and try and grow from it. But she was like, she'd been talked to many times before that.
She lost her job maybe off of that, man.
Yeah. And that's also the thing is, she outed herself.
That's true.
And when she did that, someone contacted her boss and told her about it.
I saw that.
And it was still not really a problem because I was, we're all friends and kind of connected in different ways. So I heard plenty of things. And so we knew her boss knew about it, but it wasn't a problem. Like she still had her job. Everything was exactly the same, even after her boss had been contacted.
That's the only thing that really bothered me.
And then
the witch hunt.
Right. And then later her and another person got on her friend's Facebook and started arguing with people again about it.
So that's why I don't go to Mike's, man. That's why I'm not in the scene. I'm 30 fucking plus. I don't need to be dealing with this shit.
But they continued arguing with people about it. On someone else's Facebook? And when that happened, like when they got on someone else's Facebook except for hers, because everyone's kind of connected, someone who worked at the Broadmoor was a friend of that person.
Oh, shit.
And so when they saw that came up, because like Chris wasn't friends with anyone that worked at the Broadmoor when she outed herself. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not in a way that it ever got back.
Cool.
But when they continued to come back and
to be fair, I'm not faulting Chris on it. I don't think he looked the best in the whole situation, but he's 30 years, I'm 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
he came off as the bad guy, but I really don't think he did anything wrong rather than bitch about something that pissed him off.
Exactly.
And it really,
but he's not like me going on there and bitching with my 30 friends.
Yeah.
He's Chris Fonseca, and his voice matters.
Yeah, he ran up the limit of how many friends you can have on
That's
Facebook.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he has a platform. I have a page.
Yeah.
You know
to the
what I
point
mean?
that the other day he was like, one of my Facebook friends died, so a new slot opened up.
That's fucking funny, man.
So, but at the same time, when she came back and it worked throughout the Broadmoor, now all of the Story had telephoned by the time she got back to work the next day.
Okay.
So, and this was like a week after that this came back up again.
Oh my God.
And so a week later, one of my other buddies who works at the Broadmoor came back and he was like, by the way, I heard the story from one of my coworkers and it had telephoned up.
Of course it does.
As it works
Small
through
town, man.
Yeah. To the point where the story had become that she called Rosa Parks a nigger and then punched a handicapped man. That like that's what it became. That she did that and then punched a handicapped man for no reason. She's like
the most gangster comic in Colorado Springs now, man. I should say something like that. That way, like she's got the biggest name. Like nobody's talked about my jokes before. Like you've had to cover this on 2 different podcasts. Yeah. She's a genius.
And then she came back here and Chris was like, maybe we should not allow her at the theater. And I was like, that's taking it a step far. Because me personally, I was like, she hasn't done anything I was like particularly wrong. She's just dumb.
Well, and I don't to be fair, Fonseca said that she assaulted him, and if he's really afraid for his safety, then she shouldn't come back here.
Well, that's the thing is this was
or
before
if
that.
He was trolling, like I think he was, then who gives a shit?
That's the thing is this was before that. Before that is he was like, I don't know if we should let her in the theater, and I was like, I don't want to start turning people away for something they might do that's not serious about a joke. No, I'm not going to not allow you in the building. Yeah. And so she came back in and then they had a problem that like she assaulted them. And Chris,
that was here?
Yeah, that was here.
Oh, Jesus.
And that was the thing is I personally wasn't there. I had to run and go do something real quick. But in the time I was gone, like people told me that she went up and gave like a Hillary Clinton apology.
Just a fake.
That it was like, I'm sorry for what I said or whatever.
I'm sorry for what this person made me said.
Yeah. And then Chris was like before the thing, he told her that he wanted to talk about it after the mic. He was like, so please just do jokes. I want to break this down and talk to you about it at length when we can really discuss it.
Yeah.
And so she went up there and did that, and then she started ripping on Chris and saying how mean he was for making fun of her joke and blah blah. And he went, I told you I wanted to talk about this after. He was like, you have to get off stage. He was like, because we don't. He was like, I don't know how long this is going to take. And she said, I have a First Amendment right to speak, and then tried to go take a microphone away from Chris to protect her First Amendment right.
Well, I also don't think Chris was afraid whatsoever of her attempt.
And that's the thing is he told me, one of my buddies who was there was like, it was an intense fight between a skinny white girl and a handicapped man. So it was so to us, it's like watching 2 rats squabble over cheese, but like to them, it was a Viking war.
Oh, isn't it though, man? It's just ridiculous.
So,
that's so funny. Viking war.
So, and Chris told me, he was like, I'm not so much worried about, he was like, her and I having an altercation.
Yeah.
He's like, he said he was more worried about some of his crazy friends.
Yeah.
That, you know, might lose their shit is what he was worried about.
Well, I gotta say this about Chris. He's got loyal friends, man.
Yeah.
You do not fuck with his friends. I'll tell you that, man.
Oh, by the way, so Chris has a cousin who is in a biker gang.
I rescind everything I've said about Chris. I have no idea if I said anything offensive.
A very notable
You're kidding me.
On Gang Wars biker gang.
Gotcha.
And his cousin is the enforcer for said gang.
You're joking.
So
yeah, I'm familiar. Oh
yeah.
God.
And so what is it? I haven't to meet him, but that's a whole other story. Is this guy
have fun being a mule, man.
Yeah. Because we did a show for a biker rally that Chris booked us up, and both Corey and I were there, and we were like leaning over to Chris, like, "What the fuck did you get us?"
I know.
And and Chris goes, "Look for my cousin. He's the one with the jacket that says 1 bad Latin, enforcer 1%er."
You're joking.
And we did this gig, and it was a shit show. It's whole other own story, but afterwards, like like all of us bombed, even Chris, to his own, I guess, part of his family. It was just such a shit show. And then afterwards, Corey, we all get off stage, and Corey goes, "No, go get paid by the enforcer.
Yeah.
Go try and extort money from the enforcer."
Oh my god.
So this guy, after the altercation, this guy is friends with Chris on Facebook. It's funny to think of a biker enforcer as having a Facebook.
Yeah, it is.
And like, that's
I was
me.
thinking
Tweet
that right now.
like. But after Chris posted the second thing, he was like, "Cousin, do I need to pay a visit? Are we having problems?" And Chris showed that to me, and I was like, "Man, she lost her job. Don't send the enforcer after her.
No.
You don't send the Terminator."
Oh my god! Well, the fact that a biker gang guy could be pissed about a Rosa Parks joke is even funnier.
Yeah.
Don't talk about Rosa Parks.
But it was such. It was more just that her and Chris had an altercation.
Of course, his family.
And he was like, "Who the fuck hits a guy in a wheelchair?" Like, he was so pissed.
God. But she didn't hit him.
Yeah, not really.
She tried to take the mic.
Yeah.
Which is assault, but
Yeah.
he's not wrong. But I know he's trolling.
Yeah.
I know him well enough to know that he's just fucking with her because he can.
Yeah.
And good for him. I've done that with people before. But
it was a hit in the lightest way possible.
It was, exactly.
Yeah.
He was just flexing his muscle, and I get it. And I found the humor in it, but at the same time, if she lost,
it's like
her
this
job,
with the microphone, like.
Yeah, exactly.
So, what is it? But I was like, this is like an '80s comedy moment where someone picks on the dude in the wheelchair, and he's like, "Cousin," and it's Conor McGregor. Like,
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Do we have a problem
there
here?
Really isn't. I'd almost rather fight Conor McGregor because he cares about the cops. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he understands the law and respects it. Oh
he doesn't have the ability to disappear
Yeah.
immediately.
Oh my god, man. Well, I will never fuck with Fonseca. That's another reason why you don't fuck with the guy.
Right.
Oh, Jesus. Well, all right,
so
man.
ridiculous.
I think I have to get running, but this has been fun. I've learned a lot.
I'm so glad you came.
I know
by.
the first
This is
half
really
started slow. Sorry I didn't have much to say, but this second half has been
fun.
pretty interesting, dude. I could learn a lot. A lot of fun, dude.
Yeah, dude. So much thanks for coming on.
Oh, yeah. No worries, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah. Did you have anything you wanted to try and plug?
Oh, no,
shows
not at all,
anything
man. I
coming
got
up?
some shitty shows coming up that nobody's going to go to, nobody's going to pay for. I do have one up in Fort Collins. I think I'll be there in September performing with Samantha Ruddy. That'll be a good show. She's pretty funny. And then I'll be at Looney's with Zoltan in, I think it's maybe September 12th or something like that. It's whatever the weekend the fight is with Conor McGregor. No, that's not. That's at the end of the month. I don't know. Check Looney's Comedy Corner's website. I'll be working with Zoltan, very funny comedian out of San Diego. And then other than that, that is about it.
All right.
Follow me on Twitter at Danny Muffintop.
Yeah, my Twitter is Nyland_Vigil.
There.
And we got a bunch of stuff going on at the theater coming up. We started doing a comedy class for some of the really new open micers.
Nice.
Between
I'd check
Chris
it out.
and I, yeah. And we're doing an open mic every Tuesday. Sign up at 8, show at 8:30. We've got a guest host for this next one coming up is Joe Charleston. He's a guy from Philly comic.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to meet him.
Is he living here now?
No, I think he's just passing through.
Oh, cool. Well, yeah,
and
that'd be awesome
contacted
to
me,
see.
wanted to do some stage time. So, yeah, it'll be really good to see him and have him come through. I think he's going to do the podcast too.
Oh,
So
badass,
that'll be
dude.
cool.
Well, cool.
But yeah, check the theater Facebook page, the theater on Pecan, because we're posting stuff up there now. All right. Thanks for listening, you guys.